A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Of decay and desolation, looking down on what was once a great city, while coming slowly to meet you, her hand stretched out in greeting to you, is a beautiful girl whose very existence may be the cause of your death. Listen now as Escape brings you Jack London's classic novel, The Scarlet Plague.
I am recording this only for myself, for my own sanity, perhaps even from some age-old sense of duty, for I have not the slightest hope that it will ever be heard by any living human being. I was at one time a professor of English literature in the great university at San Francisco. Professor James Smith, a man who believed in reason and intellect, and who abhorred the instincts of animal nature. But that was before the terror and the madness of the Scarlet Plague. This morning I killed a sheep with my bare hand, then squatting on the ground, I tore a haunch from my prey and ate it raw. It began simply on a Monday morning, as I recall. I was having breakfast at the counter in the campus cafeteria with Bill Dombey of the physiology department. He was glancing over the front page of the morning paper.
I don't know why I do it, Jim.
Do what?
Buy a paper every morning. Nothing changes but the date. Senator so-and-so back in Washington after whirlwind tour, love nest killing in Omaha, new bomb test at Amy with talk scheduled.
What's that item down at the bottom?
Where?
Down the corner. New York fights Scarlet Plague.
Some news reporter's pipe dream, I suppose. 9 persons have died since last evening of a strange malady which has left doctors at Manhattan hospitals admittedly baffled. The disease, if it is a disease, strikes without warning and slays its victim in less than an hour. Apparently, the first symptoms are a feeling of well-being and lightheadedness, accompanied by a slight rise in temperature. A few minutes later, a fiery red rash appears on the hands and face and spreads rapidly over the entire body. Within 10 to 30 minutes, the victim goes into coma and dies. Ridiculous. There's no disease that acts like that. It's food poisoning, something of that sort.
Please, Bill, I'm eating.
Medical authorities are unanimously agreed, however, that no general danger exists and that there is no cause for public concern or alarm, which is double talk, for we don't know what it is yet.
What about a mutation?
Mutation of what?
Well, how do I know? You're the physiologist.
Oh, you're talking about those scare stories, I suppose. Harmless virus or bacteria mutates and throws down some new deadly type. Antibiotics won't touch it. Medical science help us. 1 million people wiped out overnight.
It's a possibility, isn't it?
No, Jim, bacteria strains are always mutating. And usually the mutation is less harmful than the parent. That idea has been overworked for years. Pass the cream, please.
No. Bill? Is it a possibility or not?
Yes, it's a possibility. You're stalling, Jim. That rook's the only piece you can move, and you know it.
Don't rush me now. We still got the queen back here. Let's see.
And here is the latest development on the Scarlet Plague.
No,
the following statement was released a few minutes ago
I would move if I were you.
Bureau of Public Health. Up to this hour, the official death toll in Greater New York is 321 persons. In Boston, 94. Washington, D.C., 111. Chicago, 181. Medical
spreading like wildfire.
Are working around the clock. It is expected momentarily that the causative agent of the disease will be isolated and an effective treatment prescribed. Meanwhile, stay out of crowds, stay home, and stay calm. We return you now to Dance Time.
Turn it off, Jim.
How can it spread so fast?
It's hard to tell, not knowing the period of incubation, whether it's airborne, contagious by contact, how long it's contagious before the symptoms show up, not even knowing what it is, in fact. One thing sure, though, something's got to be done fast.
I guess we can call ourselves lucky out here. There hasn't been a case reported in San Francisco.
No, not yet.
When all the breathers of this world are dead, you still shall live. Such virtue hath my pen, where breath most breathes, even in the mouths of men. Now, I did not choose this particular sonnet because of possible contemporary suitability, but because it does, I think, best keynote the transitional phase that later appears in the philosophies and the poetic. Is something wrong back there? Yes, what's the trouble, Miss Baxter?
Please! It's the Scarlet Plague!
Now, wait! Morley, Everett, wait and give me a hand here. Miss Wilson.
Professor Smith, look at my hands. My arm's all red.
Now, Miss
I
Wilson.
feel so strange. Cold and numb. I'm dying. Everyone who gets it dies. I'm only 19 and I'm dying.
There.
When all breathers of this world are dead, you...
Now it's in San Francisco. I sat for a long time in the empty classroom, paralyzed by shock, by a strange fear I'd never felt before, the fear of the unknown. The girl had walked into my class smiling and talking, and now she lay dead at the back of the room. Why? How could it happen so suddenly? What had caused the plague? Where had the terror started? And where would it end? I went to the faculty club. Bill Dombey was listening to the latest report.
Reports from around the nation include the following figures. Greater New York, estimated 184,000 deaths. Philadelphia, estimated 150,000 deaths. St. Louis, estimated 83,000 deaths. Chicago, one moment, please. A bulletin has just been handed to me from London. The Scarlet Plague is raging in Europe. Unofficial reports from Russia estimate the death toll in Moscow at 180,000, with additional millions dead and dying throughout the Soviet Union and China. New bulletins will be broadcast whenever they are received for as long as our facilities last. And we...
No word of any cure yet?
Jim, I didn't hear you come in.
I just walked across the campus. It's completely deserted.
Yes. Guess the faculty club here is the only holdout. And at that, there are only four.
Four?
Counting you, Myra Blake of Graphic Arts. She went over to her room to pack some keepsakes. She'll be back. Dr. Barnes is out in the kitchen trying to rustle up something to drink.
Bill, that girl who died in my class a while ago, one minute she was all right, And a minute later, she was dead.
Well, it's fast. That's one thing.
Can you get it from contact? I lifted her head. I put some books on her.
Nobody knows how you get it. I don't suppose contact matters much. It couldn't be all contact. Not millions of cases in less than 48 hours.
Well, why can't they find a cure? They've had 2 days now. What are they all doing?
Dying, Jim, like everybody else.
Zombie, Smith?
Oh, Dr. Barnes?
Here. Maybe this will help.
Scotch.
Why not? The whole case of it out there. I think it might be a good idea to keep that radio on.
Yes, you're probably right, Dr. Barnes. Technicians, engineers, they've died by thousands all over the country. How much longer can services like radio, telephone, transportation...
Ago. All conveyances, regardless of ownership or occupancy, are being stopped and turned back at Army control points. Stay where you are. Do not attempt to travel. You are no safer in one place than in another. The plague is everywhere. Repeat, the plague
It won't
is
stop,
everywhere.
They'll still try to run.
Yes. Also
Anywhere, just as long as it's somewhere else.
Has not mutinied. Repeat, the Army has not mutinied.
It must be getting rough out
Signed by
there.
Edmund C. Dover, Senate member and acting President of the United States, and by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In a bulletin just handed to me, Johns Hopkins regretfully states that Dr. Theodore von Zwickler, who had earlier announced partial success in identifying the causative agent of the plague, has just died. So Dr. Zwickler left no notes on his work. Hospital personnel continue to...
What happened to the lights?
Power failure, I guess. It was bound to happen sooner or later.
There's a flashlight in that desk drawer.
I got it.
There is a portable radio with batteries in the game room.
Oh, let's leave it for the moment, Dr. Barnes.
Yes, the liquor sounds better than the news.
Well, in that case, wonder what's keeping Miss Blake. She was coming right back.
Hey, wait a minute. Where's that light coming from?
It's like a fire. Maybe we can see from the window.
Not one fire, 1,000 fires.
Down there, toward the bay. Berkeley, Oakland, and over in the city. Why? What started them?
Can't you hear why, Jim?
Gunfire.
Yes. They're not waiting for the plague to do the job.
No. They're already out in force. The looters, the maimers, the robbers, people with a hate and a grievance.
If it started already, it'll get a lot worse.
Oh, yes. It'll get worse.
You are listening to The Scarlet Plague, tonight's presentation on Escape. Sunday afternoon, CBS Radio will bring you another of its successful on-the-scene reports gathered by its feature project team. This time, we'll take you to the United States wide-open back door, the Mexican border, the crossing point for 2 million illegal entrants last year alone. We call this report the Wetbacks, because that's what so many of these illegal entrants are called as they swim the Rio Grande into the United States. Hear the Wetbacks, Sunday on most of these same stations. And now, Escape, and the second act of The Scarlet Plague.
We stood at the window of the faculty club, looking out across the campus, down over the hills toward the bay, where fires lit up the growing night, and where even fiercer fires of greed and lust and hate burned in hearts that were beating their last hours or even seconds of life in this world. For a world was dying at our feet, and though we had so far been spared, we knew we too were dying with it.
Contact is still being maintained with Buenos Aires. And since London Overseas went silent a few minutes ago, this is now our only contact outside continental North America.
Makes you know you're
We are
alone.
at present able
Really
to
alone.
maintain contact with only 2 stations in this country, Washington and Chicago. The West Coast has been silent for some 30 minutes, And we do not know whether we are being heard there at this time.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
At the moment, we are waiting for word from Washington naming the new President of the United States to replace Edmund C. Dover, who died on the Senate platform while attempting to become...
What's the use?
Well, are we still agreed on leaving?
We must. If by some miracle we do survive, we'll be out of food here in 3 days. And tonight may be the last chance to find any. They're probably looting every store in the Bay Area.
Grocery stores, liquor stores, jewelers, toy shops.
More the reason to get started now, then.
Right. If we can make 3 or 4 trips with the station wagon tonight, we ought to be set here for quite a while. What about those pistols, Dr. Barnes? You said there were a couple in the safe.
Yes, I'll get them.
Funny how things are changing. He was chancellor of this university. Now he's foraging for food.
Yes, well, I'll gas up the station wagon and get it over here so we can...
Is anybody here?
Well, Jim, turn that flashlight on the door.
Myra.
Jim, thank heaven you're still here.
Oh, Dr. Barnes was worried about you, Myra. He just went into the other room. I'll tell him you're here.
All right, Jim. I was afraid there might not be anybody here. I was hurrying to get back, and I caught my heel on the edge of the walk and fell. I think I hit my head.
Tripped and fell, the whole world dying, and you trip and fall.
I guess it is funny.
Myra? Bill.
What is it?
What's wrong?
Dr. Barnes is lying just outside. Dead.
Plague?
Yes. But he got the pistols.
Yeah, thanks. Do you know how to use one of these, Jim?
In a general way. Well, we'd better get started, Bill. We shouldn't be too long, Myra.
You're not going to leave me here alone.
Oh, she's right, Jim. I wouldn't want to be left alone either.
All right. Let's go. We tried the Oakland docks first. The big food warehouses along the railroad tracks. It was a dead end. From a mile away, we could see the blaze towering into the night sky. The whole dock area was in flames. We swung the station wagon back onto the ramp and headed across the Bay Bridge toward the city itself, fighting our way in and out of the jumbled traffic and the terrified crowds on foot, turning and twisting among the dead and dying.
You've got to go back, Bill. This is getting worse every block.
Yeah, I know. Trying to get a chance to turn around.
There's an alley there by the hotel. Maybe you can edge in there.
We'll try anyway.
Look out, Bill!
Hey, what were you bumbling into?
Sorry?
I ain't taking a pushing around from nobody. Not anymore, you understand?
I told you
That's kind of what I got. You take a look at a 45, wise guy.
Careful, Bill. He's drunk.
Look close, and you can see the bullet coming out. Watch that.
I bet he saw it all right. I bet he got a real good look at
He's crazy, Myra. Come on, hurry. We've got to get out of here.
What about the other man?
We'll leave the car. Come on, out this side. This way, Myra. The hotel entrance. Out of the way. One side. We got the door. All right, come on.
What can we do, Jim? They saw us come in. They'll be after us any second.
The stairway there, next to the elevators. Hurry, Myra. Maybe we can find a room, someplace to hide in case they come up the stairs.
Try that one, Jim.
All right.
Hey, look! They got more guests, Charlie. Come on in and live. That's what all of us are doing. Living while we're dying.
Hardy.
Go on in. We got plenty to eat, plenty to drink. 50 pounds of diamonds, tons of money, lots of women, and not a worry in the world.
Come on, Myra, let's go.
Go ahead. Come on, let me open another bottle.
Jim, where can we go?
Well, the hotel's about 12 or 14 stories high. The elevators aren't working. I doubt if anybody'd bother us on one of the top floors. They wouldn't have any reason to climb up there. You want to try it?
All right, Jim.
Let's go. For 5 days, we stayed on the top floor of the hotel. and no one came up to bother us. Twice, with pistol in hand, I left Myra in the room and slipped down into the streets to forage for food and supplies. Gradually, over the 3 days, I saw the mobs diminish, thin out, as the Scarlet Plague continued to rage unchecked. And finally, on the morning of the 6th day, I brought Myra down from the room to see what had happened to the city.
There's not a person in sight, Jim. No one but us. Not another living soul as far as you can see.
Listen. There's not a sound.
A dead world. There must be others, Jim. Not just us. They're hiding. We'll take a car and drive and look for them. There must be others.
But she was wrong. We drove for 100 miles, all over the city and the countryside around it. And when we finally stopped on a hill above the bay, we knew that there was not another living soul in the whole city. We were the only human beings left alive in San Francisco, and most likely the only ones in the entire world.
But why, Jim? Why us and no one else?
I don't know why. I don't know why any of this. It's just too vast to begin to comprehend. But we're alive. That's the only thing that's certain. We're both alive. To be alone, to be the only living human in the world, would mean terror. Absolute terror and insanity.
I feel guilty somehow. Being alive when everyone else is dead.
There can't be any guilt when you don't have a choice. It was nothing we did. And besides, Myra, don't you see what it means? Since we've been spared, mankind itself has been spared, and civilization. We'll have children. We'll teach them. See that they remember and pass on the greatness of the past.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Together. Together we can do it. We can give mankind another chance. You and I, Myra. We can keep it from being lost forever. Together, everything's different. There's a new hope. Something to live for and work for. And we...
What's wrong, Jim?
Myra.
What?
Your face. It's turning scarlet.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Scarlet Plague by Jack London, specially adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, starring Vic Perrin. Featured in the cast were Polly Bear, Virginia Gregg, and John Daner, with Eleanor Tannen, John Larch, Barney Phillips, and Sam Edwards. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are standing in the bedroom of an English inn, the sound of revelry coming faintly up the stairs. While in the shadows across the room from you, the gun in his hand already aimed at you, is an enemy agent whose success depends upon your death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Ben Wright's story, Affair at Mandrake.
Every Saturday evening at the Star's Address, enjoy William Conrad as Marshal Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke. It's a drama of the frontier of America in the 1870s. Authentic, dramatic, and full of the lore that made the American cowboy a part of our national heritage. Remember, Gunsmoke, Saturday night. Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons, is heard Friday nights on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are standing in the bedroom of an English inn, the sound of revelry coming faintly up the stairs, while in the shadows across the room from you, the gun in his hand already aimed at you, is an enemy agent whose success depends upon your death.
Listen now as Escape brings you Ben Wright's story, Affair at Mandrake.
This town, this beach, might have been wonderful in peacetime, I don't know. I never saw it before, but in war in 1940 it was hell. And on the map that I held in my shaking hands, it read Dunkirk. I stood by a burnt-out truck, reeling with fatigue, watching what was left of my battalion lurch like sleepwalkers onto the shell-swept dunes to await their turn on the little ships that were struggling so desperately to get them away and back to England.
Major Baker!
Over here, son, Major. Behind the colonel.
Afraid he's boarded, sir. Him and the old battalion order group.
All of them?
Yes, sir. One bloody shell. Nasty, very nasty. You want to look over the prisoners now, sir?
I suppose so. Brigade still wants unit identification.
This way, sir.
All right.
I left them with the Lance Corporal of D Company. Here you are, sir. This bomb here.
Right.
Okay, you Nordics, give a man up on your bloody feet.
Now get him lined up all the way. We'll see what we've got.
Prisoners!
That man at the end, Holloway. Get him turned round.
You, face the officer. You I'm talking to.
That's more like it. Now we can... 30 shots. Bitte, Herr Major. 30 shots. What in the world?
Aber Herr Major, ich kann kein Englisch Wort verstehen.
You don't understand English when you were born in England.
Bitte, Herr Major.
Holloway, shoot that man.
Sir?
Shoot him.
No, sir.
Then by heaven I will.
No, sir, you can't. Sir, stop it. You know it's against King's regulations to shoot a prisoner. You know it is, Major, sir.
He's a traitor. I'll prove it to you. Get his service book.
Yes, sir.
It says 30 shots. Born London, England, doesn't it?
No, sir. It says here, Wilfred Dorf, born Bremen, sir.
Dorf? I could have sworn it. Dorf? Wilfred Dorf?
Yes, sir.
All right, Holloway. Must have been mistaken. Give him back his book. Now, I want the prisoners placed nearer the sea. Last chance of them making a boat for it that way. Then I want you... I want you to see that all of the ranks are fully equipped. What they don't have already, they can pick up off the beach.
Right, sir. Corporal, get them prisoners down nearer to the sea.
All right, John Major.
Come along, Holloway.
Excuse me, Major, but who do you think that prisoner was just now?
My best friend, Holloway.
Best friend, sir? German?
Yes, blasted Holloway, my best friend.
Sorry, sir.
That's all right, Holloway. I'm tired. We all are. I made a mistake, that's all. I wasn't really going to shoot him, you know.
No, sir.
Major Baker, sir. Navy's just signaled for us to embark.
All right. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Battalion will move off by companies. A company leading. Single file, 5-yard interval. Deliver that order to platoon leaders.
Yes, sir.
You married, Holloway?
Not half. 10 years now and 3 nippers.
They'll be glad to see you.
I should say so. You know, I've always thought of the old trouble and strife talking too much, but after this little lark, she'll seem like a blinking deaf mute. Come on, sir, let's get off this flaming beach.
We left Dunkirk blazing behind us, and the Navy took over. Then England again, and finally the blessed release of 2 weeks' leave. But it was a short-lived happiness, for on the 6th day I was ordered to report to the War Office. General Ballister, sir.
Baker, yes, of course. I sent for you, didn't I? Oh, Baker, congratulations.
I beg your pardon, sir?
On your military cross. I haven't got it yet, eh? Well, it'll be along. That was a good show in France, Baker. A fine rear guard and a properly equipped battalion when you came ashore. Deserve your MC.
Thank you, sir.
Thank me, rubbish. Deserve it. Now, what do you know about rockets, Baker?
Well, sir, I was interested in them pre-war as a possible method for postal delivery.
Oh, that's right. I have it here in your record. Attended experimental meetings in Germany, eh?
Yes, sir. My best friend and I... Well, it interested me.
Yeah. Well, come here. Have a look at this map.
Sir?
Mandrake Forest, full of rockets, our rockets, ack-ack and anti-personnel. Well, the Germans think they're very clever with this sort of nonsense. We think we're a bit brighter.
Mandrake Forest. I see.
Baker, I want you to command a group at Mandrake and carry out field tests. Can't give you more than a battalion for the job either. I'm giving you the job because of your record and because you know about rockets. Now, what's your main problem?
Security?
Exactly, security. The enemy knows we're up to something, and he'll do his best to find out what it is.
It'll be quite a job, sir, with only a battalion.
All you get with your colonelcy, of course. Take it?
Of course, sir. Thank you. One thing, sir. May I have my old regimental sergeant major with me? Holloway knows the way I work, and he'd be very good value.
Oh, we'll arrange that immediately. That all?
I think so, sir.
Good, that's it then. Except for a word of warning.
Sir?
From now on, Mandrake will be a #1 target for enemy agents. Mandrake and you.
Yes, sir.
Your life, and more important still, our chances of winning this war depend on how well you do at Mandrake.
I'd already thought of that, sir.
I'm sure you had. Well, then, I suggest you spend the last of your leave by having a look around that district. Make your appreciation and so on, eh? Oh, yes, and dine with Barbara and me tonight, eh, Guy?
I'd love to, sir.
That's splendid. 8:30 then, blitz permitting. Oh, and do me a favor, will you?
Of course, sir.
Don't mention rockets, eh? Barbara's all right, really, but Pongo's awfully touchy.
Pongo?
Yes, the bloody dog,
oh,
right?
Right, sir. And thank you. The dinner was excellent, as was the courvoisier. So it was well after midnight before I said goodnight to the Ballisters and made my way slowly towards my flat in Cranmer Mews. The darkness was absolute. No searchlights, no raid, an almost irritating hush. And then as I turned into the mews, I saw it. A chink of light coming from my own window. I moved quietly, yet as quickly as possible, up the steps, then stopped suddenly. My door had been forced. I eased it open wider and stepped through. There was a ribbon of light from the study. Then, as I slowly edged closer... I came to where I had fallen in the hall. Head pounding, I got to my feet and opened the study door. The room was in chaos. Chairs ripped open and papers littering the carpet. Bookshelves empty, pictures pushed aside. Quickly, I pried open a tightly fitted false bottom to the bureau drawer. My most secret documents and books were untouched. The film of chalk dust with which I had sprayed them, unmarked. If it had been a burglar, he got what he came for. If it had been the enemy, then they had not discovered what my mission was. Hello.
Guy, sorry to disturb you. Ballister here.
Oh, yes, General.
Got another blister for you, I'm afraid.
In what way, sir?
Now, just after you left, I got a toll call from Pig Spooner. Cap's commanding a prisoner of war camp just outside your new area.
Yes, sir?
Yes. Thought I ought to tell you. Pig was livid. Said that 2 days ago, 6 of his POWs made a boat for it. His patrols have brought in 5 of them, but one is still swanning about scot-free. Bloody well vanished.
Got a description of him, sir?
That's why I rang up. Blighter's about 32, medium build, but tall, pale face, black eyes and hair.
I'll keep my eyes open, sir. Anything else?
Yes. Pig thinks he must speak fluent English and know the country well. Oh, yes. The fellow's name is Wilfred Dorff.
I left London the next night, and as the train crawled towards Mandrake, under the nightly blanket of shellfire and bombers, I thought of my new command, of the rockets, and how they could change the whole face of the war, properly used and in the right hands. And I thought, too, of Wilfred Dorff, whom we'd captured at Dunkirk, the man I'd mistaken for my oldest friend, Ferdy Schatz. Ferdy's parents had been German, certainly, but he was a British citizen until he had gone to Berlin in 1937 to finish his studies there. And if Dorff was Ferdy, why had he refused to recognize me that day? Shame? Fear? Why? Why change his name? In any case, I'd soon find out. For somewhere in the forest of Mandrake, he was loose. And then, much later, I was stepping off the train into a driving, stinging rain at Mandrake Halt, where Sergeant Holloway met me with a staff car. And in a matter of minutes, we were driving away from the station towards the little town of Mandrake.
The adjutant sends his apologies for not being here, sir, but the camp's a mess and he couldn't get away.
Thanks, Holloway. Well, they posted you quickly enough.
True, sir. Hardly had time to get my pack off.
Camp's a mess, sir.
Yes, sir. The adjutant suggests the Red Lion pub in the village for you, sir, till we get settled a bit. He's warned us, sir.
Cheer up, Holloway. It's not as bad as all that.
No, sir.
Well, at least we're home.
Yes, sir. But if you'll forgive me saying so, it ain't much better than the beach at Dunkirk.
How was your wife, Holloway?
Talky, sir. Very talky. Well, this is it, sir. The Red Bloody Lion. The camp's number is Mandrake 45 if you want the staff car for reconnaissance.
Fine. Thanks for meeting me, Holloway. How about a drink before you go back?
Well, it's very good of you, sir, but the sergeant's mess managed to get a couple of barrels of Scotch ale last night. They only have bitter here.
Right, off you go.
Good night, Colonel.
Good night.
Colonel Baker, isn't it?
That's right.
I'm Alfie Bingle. I've been expecting you, sir. Your adjutant gave us a buzz, and we've the best room put by for you. Number 6 on second floor. Has to eaten out yet, sir?
Well, I did have dinner in London, but...
But they're still a bit peckish and all, eh?
Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Well, don't you worry, sir. I told the old lady to put by half a blood pudding and some green gauges for afters, just in case.
That sounds fine.
I'll take your valise up for you, sir, and the bottle of Jameson's Irish the adjutant sent along. You just stop into the bar parlour. Mrs. will serve you in there.
Right, thank you.
Colonel, sir.
Hmm?
I do hope you won't put us out of bounds to your chaps just because you're top secret and all.
Where did you hear that?
Well, it's a sort of gossip is all. A sort of gossip, like.
Let's talk about it some other time, shall we? In the meantime, how about the food?
Of course, sir. Right away. Right away.
The bar parlour was warm and crowded, and Bingle's food far better than I'd hoped for. After I'd eaten, I sat for a while over a couple of glasses of port. I was tired after the journey north. Bingle's remark about being top secret irritated me, so that when the singing began, I started up to my room.
him more, bless him more, as long as the short end is full. Let's go to Sergeant and W.R.1. Let's go and corporals and let's...
Hello, Guy.
30 shots.
Sorry about this artillery, but we have to talk, and I remembered your little outburst at Dunkirk. It seemed wiser to take no chances.
And you were?
Wilfred Dorff. That's right. The sort of melodramatic thing one is forced to do only in wartime, thank heavens.
Now, you listen to me.
Guy, please, don't get yourself in an uproar. Pour a couple of drinks like a good chap, will you, and then we'll talk. You probably have a service revolver in your valise, but I'd rather you didn't try to get it. Drinks, old boy?
There you are.
Thanks. That's more like it, eh? Yes. And I can't tell you how grateful I was when you didn't positively identify me at Dunkirk, Guy.
I'll bet you were.
Well, you see, it was essential that I get to England with Germans and as a German.
What else are you? Captured you myself, didn't I? You, a British subject in a German uniform? Now that you've escaped, you've come to me to beg a favor. How long do you think you can trade on old friendship? You're an escaped prisoner of war.
Guy, let me explain.
Go on, then explain. You have the gun.
All right. Firstly, we are very well aware of the importance of your new command.
We, who we? The Germans?
Germans, my foot. British military intelligence.
British military? You? With MI5?
That's right. Guy, do you remember my farewell party at the Dorchester in 37 when I was leaving for Germany to finish my education?
I remember. What about it?
Well, intelligence knew war was coming then, sooner or later, and because of my German parentage, they sent me there as a plant.
What?
Guy, I'm not an escaped prisoner. That was arranged by courtesy of military intelligence. I expect the commandant of the camp is furious, but then sometimes you can't let the left hand know what to do.
Suppose I did believe you. What are you doing here?
Well, we feel sure that one of the top German agents is now or will be in this area. Target? Mandrake's new rocket command, and, of course, its commander, you.
Who is this agent?
We don't know yet.
I see. Do you know what he looks like?
We don't know that either.
You know very little for someone that supposedly works for military intelligence.
Oh, I see. All right, here. This is the only identification I carry. Look.
It doesn't mean a thing.
Guy, you don't think...
I don't think, Ferdy, I know. Those credentials are forged.
Forged? Are you out of your mind?
How credulous do you think I am, Ferdy?
Now, listen, Guy, I need your help.
Our friendship's finished. Done. You see, you're on one side. I'm on the other. You better go while you still have that gun, because the next time I find you, I'll kill you.
Guy. You always were pig-headed. All right, then, a drink for the road, One for our friendship that was.
As I poured his drink, he came toward me smiling, his gun in one hand. Then as he reached for it, I flung the raw whiskey straight into his eyes. And as he spun away from me half-blinded, I leapt at him. He was trying to bring the gun round on me. I brought my heel down hard on his hand. And the gun skidded away, out of reach under the wardrobe. Then his left hand chopped me hard across his throat. Through a choking haze, I reached the bed, clawed open my valise, swung my revolver towards him as he came toward me. Then I fired. I knew I'd hit him, but even so, he was able to wrench the gun from my hands, race for the door, and slam it shut behind him. By the time I got to my feet and had the door open, Ferdy had a good lead. I took the stairs as fast as I could, but down in the parlor I saw only Bingle, open mouth and a blur of excited faces. The blackout curtains at the front door were half ajar, and Ferdy Schutz was gone.
And as you know, Colonel, 3 days later, Ferdy Schutz was dead.
Heaven Harper. I suppose for you chaps in MI5, this is run of the mill. But for me, the whole thing has been a nightmare. Tragedy of errors. Killing one's best friend is, well, not too pleasant.
As I quite understand, Colonel.
In time of war,
Friendships are set aside when one's country is being attacked. And I thought 30 shots was doing just that. Now that I know he was working for MI5... Well,
Didn't he tell you that military intelligence had sent him up to Mandrake?
Yes.
Didn't he show you his credentials?
He did. But at that time, I felt sure they were forged.
Oh, I see.
Look, Captain Harper. On the beach at Dunkirk, I capture this man. Later, I am told by General Bannister that he has escaped the POW camp. And still later, I find him in my room holding me at the point of a gun.
And what did he tell you he was doing there?
He said he'd come to Mandrake because an enemy agent was supposedly in the area. He wanted my help in turning up something. It's all easy enough to understand now, but don't you see, Captain Harper? At the time, I thought I was doing my duty. I had no way of knowing for sure that he was a British agent. The whole thing has been a frightful tragedy.
Oh, yes, it is tragic. Perhaps most of all because those shots got to one of our men before he died. He never knew he'd found the evidence he wanted.
I don't understand, Captain Harper.
Colonel, you were able only to fire once.
That's correct. Before he grabbed my gun and ran.
Yes, and lost himself in the blackout.
That's right. I never saw him again.
Or couldn't find him. Is this your gun?
It could be.
I rather imagine it is, Colonel. Shots gave it to us before he died.
Well?
You fired only one shot from your revolver, the shot that killed Ferdy.
Yes. That's true.
And during a regulation ballistics check, we found the remaining 5 rounds of your revolver held not powder, but rather microfilms, with a complete German code necessary for your activities here at Mandrake. Colonel Baker, you're under military arrest as a Nazi agent and for espionage against His Majesty's government. Shall we go?
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Affair at Mandrake by Ben Wright, starring John Daner. Featured in the cast were Ben Wright, Richard Peel, Parley Bear, Joseph Kearns, Gary Montgomery, and Lawrence Dobkin. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are groping your way through the belly of a sunken ship, of fortune and pearls secured to your belt. While above, on the ship that tends you, working the pump that sends air to you, is an adversary whose plans include the taking of your pearls and your life.
So listen next week when Escape brings you John Russell's story, The Adversary. Today, radio station WDNC in Durham, North Carolina, celebrates its 20th birthday and its 20th anniversary as a CBS radio affiliate as well. Happy birthday, station WDNC, and many more happy listening birthdays to all the listeners in the greater Durham region, from more than 200 CBS radio affiliates from coast to coast. Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons, is heard Friday nights on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are groping your way through the belly of a sunken ship, of fortune and pearls secured to your belt. While above, on the ship that tends you, working the pump that sends air to you, is an adversary Those plans include the taking of your pearls and your life.
Listen now as Escape brings you John Russell's story, The Adversary.
It was at dusk and on an ebb tide that the pearling schooner Fancy Free came smartly up into the wind and dropped anchor in the harbor of Thursday Island. And it was after dark when her master came ashore and paid off his Kanaka crew. He was a big man, this captain, with a crop of black hair, a smooth, long jaw, and gray eyes. As he went swinging along the waterfront, the crowd parted right and left before him. Now, news of any arrival travels fast on Thursday Island, and with such a figure as this, the conversation at the Portuguese bar had been going on for some time.
One thing I know for certain, he's got the trimmest lugger in these parts. And where's he from, Smike? First time I ever laid eye on him or his boat was this evening.
If he was from these parts, Portuguese, Captain Smike would know him.
Well, wherever he's from, he'd be like the rest of you, up to no good. Oh, you've no use for pearlers, have you, Portuguese? You're all cut from the same cloth. Thieves, drunkards, brawlers, and worse. Ah, you fat devil. You're no better than the worst of us. I know and can account for my shortcomings. It is not so with you, who make a living like so many sea gypsies.
What's he saying, Captain Smike?
Alf, drink your drink.
I only wanted to know.
The stranger, Smike. He's another pearler, perhaps. Yes, he could be. I'll find out more when he comes for his rum. Yeah. Pour me a drink, Portuguese. And one for little Alfie. There. A toast to Thursday Island.
Thursday Island.
Where the only honest man to grace its shores came by land.
You there! At the bar.
Cool. Look at the size of that one.
My name is Smike, if it's me you're talking to.
My name is Weatherby. John Weatherby. I'm master of the Fancy Free.
That's the lugger in the harbor, ain't it?
And so, Captain Weatherby?
I've come to spend some time with you.
Captain Weatherby, what is your pleasure?
But first I'll have my say.
That's your right.
A moment back you drank a toast to which I take exception.
That's so.
You said the only honest man on Thursday Island came by land.
I did.
Now then, I don't mind what you call yourselves to yourselves. As long as I'm in your midst, anyone that says I'm not honest and can't prove it, I'll knock the 7 bells out of him.
Since you're a stranger here, Weatherby, I'll tell you something. I'm senior captain on Thursday Island, and I say what I wish when I wish. And it's like I said before. The only honest man on Thursday Island came...
Nummy, he never even got it said.
You, little fella, go give your friend a hand. He'll need help for a while yet.
My name is Alf, and I ain't finished my drink.
Go.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'll have that rum.
Right away, Captain Weatherby.
Now, on Thursday Island, there was no prying into a neighbor's affairs unless one was prepared to push the inquiry with a knife. And so it was that nobody questioned where Weatherby came from, or his pearling license, or the motley crew he picked to replace the skilled Kanaka boys he'd let go. His new cook was Chinese, his head diver a Manila man, and his mate a giant North African who went by the name of Buttermilk. But questions or no, as the months passed, a legend was growing about Captain Weatherby.
Oh, he'd chase you right across the Pacific to pay you tuppence he might owe you. That's his sort.
You never had tuppence in your life, Alfie. 5 nights ago, he was in here, and he drank 5 hard cases under the table. And when they left, he squared the whole bill himself.
Honest Weatherby, they call him.
Honest Weatherby, he's up to something. They say nothing but good about him.
You're right as rain, Portuguese. Last month he stayed in quarantine voluntary-like, just because of that island steamer and the cholera scare.
then paid his crew their monthly wages anyway.
His crew. A good master wouldn't allow one of them to set foot on deck.
Well, they ain't been exactly trained by the Queen's Navy.
What I want to know is this. Why's he got the fastest lugger in these parts manned by that collection of trash?
You still hold that blow against Weatherby, Smite. But he's all right.
Harbour authorities, pilots, and other masters, and the whole lot. They all like
I
him.
don't. Listen, that will be the Brisbane steam.
It's trying to get her bloody passengers back aboard. She sails at midnight.
Australia. I wish I was going. I'd like to see Australia again.
Yeah, she'd probably like to see you, too.
Oh, now, Captain.
Like as not, it's her pilot the Fernshaw's blowing for.
Pilot?
Ever since she put in here, Weatherby and that ship's pilot been trying to drink the island dry.
I wonder where he is now.
Down at the docks, like as not. Pouring his pilot friend aboard the steamer. Another rum, Portuguese. And another for little Alfie.
And in truth, Weatherby was down at the docks, his coat turned up against the squalls that were blowing wet from the ocean. He was standing in the shadows by some packing crates, watching from a distance the yellow cargo flares that showed the loading of the Fernshaw was still in progress. Then, just as Captain Weatherby was turning away, another figure slipped from the shadow and moved to confront him.
Captain Weatherby?
Yes?
I'll take halvers, if you please, Captain Weatherby.
What?
I said halvers. Now, don't move, Captain. I've got you well covered, and I'm not afraid to shoot.
Deacon! After all these years, the Deacon. Bless me if I didn't think I'd done you in.
I should have died, but I didn't. No thanks to you.
And what are you doing on Thursday Island?
I dropped in from Samurai, meaning to catch the Brisbane steamer.
Huh?
I've been doing some diving up the way, but I'm only a fair diver, and my luck's been poor. Until tonight.
Until tonight? And why the change, little beetle?
Because I chanced to see you, my old friend. And I was strolling along the front, and I made inquiries, and I heard what they call you in these parts. Honest Weatherby.
Why, you wasp. You have it in mind to blow on me?
To tell what I know of you and have you go to jail? Not a chance. That would do me no good.
What then?
I just want half of your new speculation. Your latest deviltry.
What makes you think I've got a plan, Deacon?
Oh, do you think I couldn't smell it out? I know your methods too well. Fine public character, no suspicion, alibi all complete. Yes, and I also know you sneaked your crew out of town tonight. Your lugger's ready to slip cable this minute. And, most important, I happen to know what the Fernshaw's carrying aboard of this trip.
Oh, the devil you do.
The season sweep of pearls, 20,000 pounds worth.
Suppose I was after those pearls. How would I get them?
That's for you to do, and me to profit by.
Ah, so you let me do the dirty, and then take ours.
That's right, Captain Honest Weatherby.
Blast me if it isn't hard to know whether you're with me or against me, Deacon.
Thus saith the Lord, an adversary there shall be, and he shall bring down thy strength from thee.
All right. All right then, Deacon, I'll put up with your blackmail and piracy. And I'll take you on as an adversary. And you'll be part of the enterprise.
Good. And now, Weatherby, tell me this. How are you to get the pearls that are aboard the steamer there?
I shall have to dive for them, Deacon.
Dive for them?
And like it or not, since you've declared yourself in, you'll be a party to it.
You mean you're going to sink her?
That's exactly what I mean, Deacon. Within 2 hours of sailing, the Fernshaw will be resting on the bottom of the passage.
You are listening to The Adversary, tonight's presentation of Escape. It's back again. It's Saturday daytimes on CBS Radio. It's Romance. Romance every Saturday on most of these same stations, bringing you the world's great love stories. Some new, some old, all fascinating adventures in listening. The story this Saturday, Daphne du Maurier's celebrated novel, Frenchman's Creek, dramatizes the love of a noblewoman for a pirate. And now, Escape, and the second act of The Adversary.
Within half an hour, the little lugger Fancy Free was standing out to sea. The master, Captain Weatherby, and a small and shivering passenger sheltered in the lee of the deckhouse. The deacon had wanted in on the profit, but he had hardly counted on mass murder as a means to it. One man's death he might have countenanced, but to murder a steamer was something else.
Weatherby, you can't do it. You can't drown a whole ship's company.
Did you ever hear the Volga, the Kate, or the Mecca? Well, they all fell a trifle off the track. Their bottoms were ripped out on Tribulation Shoal. Now, the same thing might happen to the Fern Shoal.
But how? There's a light on Tribulation Shoal.
So there is. It's a fourth-order fixed dioptric, unattended. Now, suppose that light were moved.
But like you say, it's fixed. Yeah. And besides, the keeper lives only a mile away on Horn Island. You couldn't move it.
Suppose a man were to land on the lee of Tribulation Shoal, and with a canvas, blanket the light to westward. Now, if that same man were to take a discarded lightship lantern that he might have aboard his lugger, and after anchoring some half-mile away, show this light at his masthead, what then?
What? You're mad, Weatherby.
You begin to see the possibility for error?
You really are going to wreck her?
Well, I am, Deacon.
You wouldn't. You daren't.
Captain.
What is it?
Fix up head. Can't hear.
How far?
Close, very close.
Deacon, get below. We're at Tribulation Shoal, and there's man's work to be done yet tonight.
Weatherby.
Get below. Buttermilk!
Captain.
How close now to the south?
200-300 yards.
Have the helm put over, Buttermilk, and drop a hook. We're going ashore to have a look at Tribulation Light.
Now, it is a fact that no one knows or is ever likely to know the actual explanation for the wreck of the Brisbane steamer, which left Thursday Island and came to grief some 2 hours later on Tribulation Shoal. But the records declare that she went clean off her course, and a coral reef laid her open as neatly as a butcher's knife lays open a carcass. She sank within 5 minutes. The next morning, as the dawn spread in iridescence over those waters, Captain Weatherby anchored his lugger between the tips of the two sunken masts.
All right, Buttermilk. Get my equipment ready.
I get diving suit.
Well, Deacon, you'll note for yourself there's not a trace of evidence. We've not been spied. The lantern we used is sunk, the canvas destroyed, and Tribulation Light as it was before.
You're evil, Weatherby. Pure evil.
Deacon, is there so much difference between a lot and a little? Come now, Deacon, cheer up. Here we are, and there are the pearls. 20,000 pounds worth of them, just oversized.
No, I don't want any part of it.
And within 3 hours, I'll be back out on the pearling banks about my business, never having heard of the wreck.
Captain, you strap diving shoes.
Next week, or any time I choose, I'll be walking the streets of Thursday near the news. And who will be as surprised as Captain Weatherby, that hard-working man. Honest Weatherby, with a fortune in his belt to dispose at leisure.
All ready now. Put helmet, Captain.
Yes, Deacon. I've not a problem in the world. Except you.
Me? Why me?
You are evidence. This stinking crew doesn't matter. I've kept them too befuddled to know what's happening, but you could be Queen's evidence. I'm not forgetting you.
Hey, but, now, listen to me, Weatherby. I want no part of...
What kind of an adversary do you call yourself, Deacon? I'd hope for some sport from you. Now, come below, Deacon. Now's the time to change your luck. Come below, once and for all.
No, I won't go down with you, not down there.
Well, you're a diver, aren't you, Deacon?
I can't, not in that ship, I can't.
Oh, blast it, Deacon. I thought at least you'd be amusing. Eh, very well. When I come back, I'll knock your silly head in.
Captain, you want a helmet?
One thing, Buttermilk.
Yes, Captain.
You see that fellow white man? Maybe he wants to go below. Good. You give him other suit.
Yes, Captain.
Maybe he touch pump or raise fuss. You knock 7 bells out of him. Otherwise, no order. You savvy?
I savvy, Captain.
Good. Now help me with the helmet.
Yes. Put on now.
You okay now, Captain?
You murderer! You filthy murderer, Weatherby!
Captain, no here. Sergeant Helmet. You white fella, move away. Captain, go waterside now. You fella pump plenty good. Captain need much air.
Listen, I've got to talk to you.
Captain say you no good.
Look, I'll give you money. Anything, just cut those lines.
Captain die we cut line. No bleed down there.
Yes, that's right, he'll die, but I'll pay you more than he will.
Time stop moving, Captain, on ship now.
What about it? You want money?
No.
What do you want? And I'll give you anything you say. Just cut those lines and leave him.
White fella no good.
But don't you understand? He'll kill me after he gets those pearls and comes up.
Captain say no order.
Huh? You've got to listen to me.
Go away.
Look, put me in the longboat. Turn me loose. I'll take my chance in the open sea rather than with him. I can't stay here.
You stay.
No, I won't. I won't just wait here like a fool for him to come up and kill me when he pleases. I'll go down below there with him first and fight it out.
You want out of dive suit? Go waterside.
I don't know. I don't know. I've got to think.
You nothing. Black fella boy, pump good. Captain needs plenty air down there.
And down below, everything went exceeding fine for Captain Weatherby. In a matter of 20 minutes or less, he had found the strongbox, broken it open with an iron bar, filled his canvas sack with pearls, and was making his way back towards the companionway through which he had entered the ship. The light was getting stronger as he came back. Then suddenly he stopped. A dim form was facing him. A man as tall as himself, clad in a diving rig. And Weatherby was smiling as he thought,
Same type helmet as mine. Same shape. Only other like that is on Fancy Free. What? By all that's holy. Oh, it's the Deacon. So you come down, Deacon, after all. So you're going to dispute the prize with me, eh? Claim your vengeance. All right. I was going to kill you one way or the other. One crack on your helmet with this bar, Deacon, and your eardrums are gone. You'll be just an unfortunate diver who drowned while working. But at least you've proved an adversary worth his salt. Now, I'm moving at you, Deacon. Good. You move too, eh? We're going to fight it hard. Good. A little closer. That's it. Now I'll split your skull.
Oh, set out another bottle of rum, Portuguese. I'm cold clean through to the marrow.
5 days out there at the wreck, and no thanks from anybody.
Not even from the man you brought back? Him? He's crazy as a tick.
Calls himself a deacon, a man of the cloth. Look at him over there, sitting alone at the table, talking to himself. Scripture.
But what of Captain Weatherby? They said you found his lugger anchored over the wreck. There was 2 people could have told us that story. One was a deacon, as he calls himself, and the other a great hulk of a West African that he went down after Weatherby never come up. You need gear to go that deep.
That bleeding crew couldn't manage a word between the lot of them.
Hold out.
He hideth his wrong in his heart. Let him be snared in his own pit. In the net which he hid is his own foot taken. Lord, break down the arm of the wicked and the evil man.
Oh, poor fool. He don't know what he's about. Mate, tell me, what of Weatherby? They found him down the wreck. The pearls all in a great sack tied to his diving belt. And he was drowned. Drowned? His suit had been cut to ribbons by shards of broken glass. Yes, he was drowned for fair, right inside of his suit. But the glass, mate. What was the glass? Oh, a broken mirror. A mirror. It served as a facing for the saloon door leading out of the companionway.
It's like he stopped to take a look at himself. Just that one last time.
Well, a toast to Captain Weatherby. Rest his soul. The only honest man who came by sea to curse the island.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Adversary by John Russell, specially transcribed for radio by Mr. MacDonald. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, John Daner, and Ben Wright, with Alec Harford, Charlie Lung, and Barney Phillips. The narrator was Vic Perrin. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are running through the alleys of a Mediterranean village, the blackness of the Italian night confusing you, while somewhere in the dark behind you, coming closer as they search for you, are a man and a beautiful woman who mean to take your life.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Kathleen Height's story, An Ordinary Man. This Sunday night, Lionel Barrymore opens the doors to the Hall of Fame, turning the spotlight on another little-known drama of American history, whose workings were instrumental in shaping the nation's destiny. Empire builders, dreamers with high ideals, men and women whose pioneering made history. These are the heroes and heroines of the Hall of Fame, starring Lionel Barrymore this Sunday night on most of these same stations. The top dramatic show of them all, the Lux Radio Theater, is heard Monday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are running through the alleys of a Mediterranean village, the blackness of the Italian night confusing you, while somewhere in the dark behind you, coming closer as they search for you, are a man and a beautiful woman who mean to take your life.
Listen now as Escape brings you Kathleen Height's story, An Ordinary Man.
I don't know yet why I said it. But later, as I stood at the deck rail and felt the light chill of the Mediterranean night, I decided it was a good thing. I was 40 years old. In all my 40 years, people had never looked at me the way they had in the salon a few minutes earlier. 40 years. That's a long time to go unnoticed. A long time to be just an ordinary man. I had never known a beautiful woman, and Maria Novella was beautiful. A man doesn't tell such a woman that he's an assistant county assessor or that this Mediterranean cruise took his life savings. It was late. I was alone on deck. And for the first time in my life, I felt that I could be anything I wanted to be. Boy, oh boy.
Hello.
So this is where you came to hide, Senor Hansel.
Oh, Miss Novella. No, I just thought it was stuffy in the dining room. Came out on deck to take the air.
You are very gallant, Senor. I, too, found Senorita Preston's little game very trying.
Oh? Well, it wasn't the game so much. As a matter of fact, I get sort of a kick out of guessing who people are or what they do and then finding out whether I'm right or wrong.
People can be very deceptive. You must have discovered that. So often, they're not what they seem. Is that not so?
Oh, I don't know. I don't get fooled very often. If you're a good judge of character, and I fancy that I am.
Oh, I'm sure that you are.
Well, thanks very much.
Not at all. It is a quality I admire. I am so often wrong about people. I was completely wrong about you.
Yes, I guess I had you fooled all right.
Your work must be fascinating.
Oh, it's a job.
But importing rare gems, it has the sound of many things. Romance, in its true sense, and history, and I should think danger.
Oh, I suppose, but as I say, it's a job. Even scouting around the world in search of perfect stones, well, it all becomes routine after a while.
I think you are modest, Senor Hansel. I think you know a very great deal that you do not say. And I think I will go right on regarding your life as romantic and dangerous.
Well, if it makes you happy.
It does. You see, Senor, you prove my point.
Oh, how's that?
That people are so often not what they seem. Here you are, an importer of rare gems, and you have the appearance of just an ordinary man. It's getting chilly. I'm afraid I must go in now.
Oh, so soon? I mean, well, if you're chilly, I could lend you my coat.
It is also quite late.
Oh. Well, then, may I see you to your cabin?
How very nice. We seem to be very much alone.
Yes. Not a very lively group aboard, I'd say.
And I had thought not a very interesting group. Until tonight.
Oh. Yes, I guess you're right.
Here we are.
Here? Well, we're practically neighbors. I'm just a few doors down on the other side.
I know.
Oh? Oh, you do?
Do you mind that I noticed you?
Now, then, I'll bet you know I don't mind the least bit.
I hope not. Sometimes, Senor Hansel, a woman traveling alone, she's afraid. Just of being alone, she's afraid.
Why, now, there's nothing to be afraid of. A small cruise boat like this, not very many people.
Oh, I should not trouble you. I talk too much.
No, you just go right ahead. You're trembling, Miss Novella.
I'm a foolish woman. I would say good night now, Senor. And thank you for being so kind.
Are you sure you're all right? Now, if you'd like me to stay with you a while,
No, please, you must go. And forget what I have said.
I'm sorry, Signorina.
It's only Pietro, Miss Novella.
I see.
I do not mean to frighten the Signorina.
What were you doing in my cabin?
I bring the Signorina fresh linens. It's no crime, fresh linen.
So late at night, you bring me the linen?
Yes, it is late, Pietro.
Yeah. Pietro has much work in so many cabins. The Signorina was not in. I did not think that she would mind.
Go now, Pietro. This must not happen again.
As you wish. Pietro would never frighten the Signorina.
Are you afraid of him, really?
I do not know. I'm afraid of many things.
Because if you're afraid of Pietro, it's a simple matter to tell the captain.
I would not want that.
Look, if it'd make you feel better, I'd be glad to come into your cabin with you. Just to look around. Be sure that everything is all right.
No. Oh, thank you, but no. I've talked too much. You will please go now, too.
I'd like to help you, Miss Novella.
Not now. We will meet tomorrow. Perhaps then You can help me.
My mind was full of Maria Novella, and I didn't sleep very well that night. A beautiful woman was afraid, and she had brought her fears to me. Or rather, she brought them to the man she thought I was. A man whose business was danger and romance, a dealer in rare gems. I knew that night that I would never tell her the truth, that I must somehow come to be this man she thought I was.
Your move, Hensel.
Huh? Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry, Mr. Brilliant. My mind hasn't been on my checkers all afternoon.
You would think we were playing chess for great stakes, the way you study your moves.
I'm not even thinking about them, Mr. Brilliant. I'll concede the game to you.
And I will accept, if only because it will be the first game I have won from you in 3 days.
You sure you don't mind?
Oh, not at all, my friend. Tell me, have you business in Trapani?
Hmm?
I asked if you had business in Trapani. We docked in Sicily tonight, you know.
No, this is just a pleasure trip.
Oh, that is good. Then you will be able to spend some time with me.
Yes, I'd like that. I didn't realize that Trapani was your home.
It isn't, but I have many friends there. A particular friend occupies one of the fine old Baroque palaces. He has an exceptional collection of jewels.
Oh, so?
The man with your knowledge of gems... But you are not listening, are you, Hensel?
Hmm? Oh, well, to tell you the truth, I was looking for someone.
Really?
I guess it's obvious, but I haven't seen her all day.
Do I know her?
Oh, Miss Novella?
I don't place the name, should I?
Oh, yes. Last night in the salon, remember when Miss Thurston organized her Guess Who game? Miss Novella was the beautiful dark woman in green.
Oh, yes, I do remember her now. Very lovely. But I don't believe I've seen her today either.
I'm sort of concerned about her. Rapped at her cabin a time or two. She didn't answer. I think I'll check again.
I believe I would if you are worried about her.
Yes, I think I'd better. Excuse me? Oh, and thanks for the game, Mr. Brilliant.
I'll see you when we dock, Hensel.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Mr. Hensel. Didn't see you. Are you hurt?
No, Miss Thurston,
I blew my whistle, but I guess you didn't hear it in time.
I guess not.
Doing wind sprints around the deck, getting my land legs in shape.
Oh?
Start my gym classes every day with wind sprints.
Well, don't let me keep you.
And remember, we're all playing indications tonight in the salon before we dock.
Oh.
Hello, Signor Hansen.
You were putting fresh linens in my cabin, Pietro?
Fresh water, Signor.
They keep you pretty busy with linens and water, don't they?
Pietro has much work. So many cabins.
I hope I find everything in its place, Pietro.
I hope so too, Signor.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Hensel. I was wondering if... Oh, hello there.
Please come in, Senor Hensel.
Well, if you're sure you don't mind... frankly, I've been worried about you, Miss Novella.
I did not sleep well last night. Toward morning, I took a sedative. I wakened only a short time ago. I was going to send for you.
Is something wrong?
I told you I might need your help. This is why I'm frightened, Senor.
Oh, my. What a beautiful brooch.
The last of my family's treasures, Senor. How old it is, I do not know. My grandmother left it to me. I've just come from her funeral in Lisbon.
You say this is why you're frightened?
I am a woman alone. Someone may know I have a brooch of great value.
Pietro?
Perhaps Pietro, I do not know.
Miss Novella, why don't you go to the captain? I'm sure he could offer protection until you're ashore.
No, I will not call attention to myself by going to the captain. It's You will not help me.
No, but how can I be of help to you?
Well, you are used to these things, senor. You often carry gems, do you not?
Oh, no. Oh, well, of course, yes, but I don't see...
No, I can trust you. Take it, please.
Take it?
Keep it for me. Only until we dock a Traponi. I will feel so much better, so much safer, senor.
Yes, but if something should happen...
Please, it will be safe with you. I do not mean to impose, but who else can I turn to? If I cannot trust you.
You can trust me, Miss Novella. I'll keep it for you.
Oh, there you are, Hensel. Ready to go ashore?
Oh, Mr. Brilliant, I was looking for someone.
You are still looking for the same lady?
Huh? Oh, no, not still. Again, I really must find her.
I had hoped we could go ashore together.
That would be fine, but I promised Miss Novella that...
Excuse me, Senor Hensel.
Oh, yes, Pietro.
The signorina left this for you.
Left it? When?
A few minutes ago. She has gone ashore, senor.
Gone? But surely she must say...
It is a small hotel, senor. The Monte San Giuliano.
How did you know that...
Arrivederci, senor.
You are listening to An Ordinary Man, tonight's presentation on Escape.
A suspect in a holdup and a known narcotics user cross the path of your night watch during tomorrow night's tour of duty on CBS Radio. Tomorrow and every Friday night on most of these same stations, you're on the case with Night Watch, a police recorder and actual police in a prowl car, protecting the public from wrongdoings and wrongdoers. Remember, Night Watch, exciting, authentic. Stars address listening tomorrow night.
And now, Escape, in the second act of An Ordinary Man.
Hotel Monte San Giuliano. Please hurry. The urgency of Maria Novella's note saw me through those next minutes. In my confusion, I lost track of Mr. Brilliant. Somehow I managed to get through customs. What I would have said if they had found the brooch, I do not know. I only knew that I must find Maria Novella and return it to her. She was not registered when I arrived. I took a room and waited. And then... Just a minute.
I was afraid I had lost you, Hensel.
Oh, come in, Mr. Brilliant.
You never lose that look, Hensel. Always when we are together, you are looking for someone else.
It sure seems that way, doesn't it?
You have not found the lady yet, Signorina Novella?
No, I haven't.
Good. Then I will take it, Hensel.
You will take what?
Please. We are old friends. We play checkers together. Please do not make me shoot an old friend. I want the brooch.
You know...
You can puzzle over it when I am gone, Hensel. These are ugly little episodes. We should not prolong them.
I am not a brave man, Mr. Brilliant. But I'll tell you one thing.
Good. Then you will not have to act like one. Now, where is it? In one of your suitcases?
No, I won't let you.
I did not want to do that.
Oh, please.
But you are such a foolish man. And you waste my time. You force me to find it myself.
No, but you can't. I promise. I promise.
But I came as soon as I could, and I trusted you.
I know. How he knew I had the brooch, I don't know. I'm ashamed, so completely ashamed. Oh, Pietro. He must have known.
Perhaps he did, but I am to blame. I should never have given it to you. It was my responsibility.
I should never have taken it. But if I hadn't, Mr. Brilliant would have found you, and... Well, at least I saved you that.
Oh, I'm not blaming you. Please understand that. I'm just so very upset.
Well, this is no good. We'll have to go to the police.
Oh, I had not thought of the police. No. No, I do not want the police.
But I've already called them. Called as soon as he left. And I must say they were very calm about it. Said I'd have to come there and make a report.
No, I cannot go through that. I've been too long under this strain.
Oh. Well, I guess I can handle it myself. If you trust me again.
Oh, I trust you. It is only that I'm so weary of this. If the police would come here, but...
I'll bring them. Now, don't you worry. You just stretch out here. No one will bother you now.
There would be no reason. Now.
I'll hurry. And don't worry, Miss Novella. I just won't rest until I get that brooch back for you. The Trapani police continued to take the whole matter with great calm. I had the feeling that they thought I'd manufactured the entire story. And it was well after midnight before I finally persuaded one of them to go back to the hotel with me.
I imagine the Signorina will be asleep.
Yes, I should think so. I think the whole town of Trapani is asleep, including its police force.
We like to be sure, Signore. Sometimes it takes time to be sure.
And all that time, Mr. Brilliant was speeding away somewhere, scot-free.
It's easy to leave at Trapani. If your Mr. Brilliant was anxious to leave, he could have been gone in minutes.
Is that any reason not to try to stop him? Well, here we are. Quietly now. Miss Novella? Miss Novella?
The room is empty, Signore.
Well, I don't understand that. She must be here.
Is she in the closet, Signore?
No. But then she must have left a note.
I do not see a note. Do you?
No.
The Signorina, she had a room here at the hotel?
Yes, I'm sure she did. That must be where she's gone.
We will see. Connect me, please, with the room of... her name?
Novella. Maria Novella.
The Signorina Maria Novella. I will wait.
Are they ringing her room?
They are checking her number.
Well, that must be where she is. They probably got tired of waiting for us. Just went to her own room. Well, you can't blame her. All that delay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are sure?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't she there?
The hotel says they have no guest by the name of Maria Novella.
No guest?
The cigarette?
No. No.
It's in your hands.
Yeah, I know. I know you don't believe there is any Maria Novella, just like you don't believe anything else I've told you.
Very fantastic story, Signore. You meet the lovely lady on a boat. For no reason, you tell her you are an importer of rare jewels. The lady is frightened. She trusts you. Gives you a fine old brooch. Then you land at Trapani. The man you play checkers with steals the brooch. Now all three are gone. The lady, the man, the brooch.
I didn't make it up. I couldn't make it up. It happened, I tell you. She may be in danger. She may have been kidnapped.
I'm sorry. We cannot deal with what may have been. You need a rest, Signore. And then tomorrow, you can enjoy Trapani. It's really a very nice place.
He was right. I needed a rest. But where was Maria Novella? Oh, I should never have gone to the police alone. My mind was full of things I should never have done. If only I had just been content to be an ordinary man. Oh. Hello?
Senor Henson.
Oh, are you all right?
I'm safe. With Fred.
Oh, thank heaven. When we came back and you were gone...
Oh, I should have left a note, but I was so upset. You understand.
Oh, I do, but the police don't. I can't understand it, but they don't believe anything I told them.
My friends have talked to me. They think we must go to the police together. You and I.
I think that's the only way.
Well, I cannot rest now until we do. Please, this last favor. Please come here for me.
I was able to find what must have been the only taxi in Trapani at that hour. I gave him the directions Maria Novella gave me, and we wound through a series of narrow streets to what seemed to be the edge of the city. A soft rain began to fall. I told myself it would all be over soon.
Come in, Senor Hensel.
Well, I'm afraid I'm pretty wet.
You are just fine.
Oh, my. I should have asked that taxi to wait. It's a shame to bother your friends at this time of night.
They will not mind. And you have been so kind.
Unbelievably kind, Hensel.
What? Brilliant.
But like most kind people, you are inclined to meddle.
Miss Novella?
Do what you have to do, Renzo. And be quick about it.
But we owe Hensel an explanation. Look at his confusion.
You, the two of you, together?
Worse than that, Hensel. Married.
I said, be quick about it, Renzo.
A very impatient girl, Maria. But so beautiful, Hensel. And so helpless. She needs a strong man like you to protect her.
You planned it deliberately? But why?
We needed someone to take the brooch off the boat, you see. For such a simple reason. And you made it so complex for us all. You and Pietro.
Pietro?
Such an ardent young Latin, Pietro. If he had not detained Maria, she would have met you at the hotel. You would have delivered the brooch to her gladly. As it was, I had to trouble you for it. Now the police are involved. It's very messy, Hensel.
The brooch isn't hers. There's no dead grandmother in Lisbon. You stole the brooch.
Ah, you are thinking, Hensel, but a little late.
And she gave it to me because I was supposed to be a gem expert. And if the authorities found it on me, there would be no trouble. Is that right?
Yeah, that is very wrong. A gem expert? Who would believe that of such an ordinary man?
No one, I guess.
We picked you for yourself alone. You are a nice, ordinary man, though. I hate to tell you.
Tell me what?
Out in the garden, a very old cistern, the Romans built it. I don't think anyone will ever find you.
You are going to kill me?
No, such a thought. We are only going to let you die. Not much further, Hensel. You must be very tired.
I guess I am.
The rest will do you good.
Hensel!
What?
Look out!
Hey, that's far enough, you.
Are you all right, Senor Hensel?
Oh. I'm much better, thanks.
You brought the police, Hensel?
You? Oh, no, I didn't have anything to do with them. Well, did I, officer?
Oh, I think so, yes. I got to thinking about your story. It's a very fantastic story. It's so unbelievable. But then I think about you. Such an ordinary man. You could not make up such a story. So, I follow you.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you transcribed An Ordinary Man by Kathleen Height, starring John Daner with Virginia Gregg. Featured in the cast were Edgar Barrier, Anthony Barrett, Ida Reese-Marin, and Harry Bartell. Your announcer, Dan Coverly. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are lost in the trackless wild of the Irish moors. Your only companion, a beautiful gypsy woman. And you know that somewhere in the dark behind you, searching every foot of ground for you, is the giant of a man called Charon, who plans to take your girl and at the same time take your life.
So listen next week when Escape brings you John Daner's story, Benchillina and the Fisherman.
Is there a possible connection between a strange ivory monkey and the death of a wealthy oil magnate? Mr. Keene believes so and sets out to prove his contention in the case of murder and the ivory monkey, tomorrow night on CBS Radio. Don't miss Mr. Keene at his exciting best tomorrow night on most of these same stations. Where there's Gunsmoke, there's Western Adventures, Saturday nights on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are lost in the trackless wild of the Irish moors. Your only companion, a beautiful gypsy woman. And you know that somewhere in the dark behind you, searching every foot of ground for you, is the giant of a man called Charon, who plans to take your girl and at the same time take your life.
Listen now as Escape brings you John Dehner's story, Benchillina and the Fisherman.
It was a cold and gusty night that found me sitting over a whiskey in a pub in Ballymoran, a lonely village situated on the bleak uplands of County Mayo in the west of Ireland. I had come over from London for a fortnight of trout fishing, which I'd been told was excellent in these parts. As it was late and the pub deserted, I was questioning the proprietor, one Hackett J. O'Cool, about the lakes and streams nearby. He was a little man, all mustache and eyebrows, and a bowler hat pulled down over his ears, industriously polishing the glasses behind the counter.
And through life unblessed we heroes. So, you're here for the fishing now?
Yes, I've been told it's excellent here.
Oh, that it is. Losing all that made life dear.
Well, where would you suggest I make a start?
Well, now, that's hard to say. You might try the Rills of Kildenny.
The Rills?
No. Think it over twice. You'd be better off in the Loch.
Well, where's that?
Yes. That'll be the best time, sure, for a stranger. The Loch.
Where is the Loch?
Lochdanal is only a mile to the east. But that's by going straight up. To get there, you have to walk around the mountain 5 miles, and there's no road, and no. That's too far. You better try something closer in.
So far, I have the Rills of Kildenny and Lochdanal. They're both good, you say?
Oh, good trout, that long.
That long?
Well, that long.
Even that's respectable.
Respectable. I'll tell you whether trout are more respectable than that.
I'd better have another whiskey.
Aye. And you'll need it when I tell you about the place I'm dreaming.
Won't you join me, Mr. O'Cool?
Oh, Mister, I will. I should not even be telling you this, but I feel it's my duty since you've come all the way from London with your fish pole.
Yes, I'd hate to be disappointed.
The Drino.
The Drino? Where's that?
The waters of the Drino up on Dark Mayo.
And the fishing's good?
Yeah, that big.
Truly?
Strike me, a friend line, strike me dead.
But why did you hesitate a moment ago?
It's because, well, Dark Mayo.
What is Dark Mayo?
Oh, the loneliest moor in all of Ireland, north or south, stretches from the mountains to the sea and cursed with a loneliness that keeps all living things away.
Where do I find this place?
Yeah, all except for the gypsy folk. Last year, before he went mad, Portry Slogan told of seeing the black Romany dancing among the spirits. People in the vapors with a wild fandango they were.
Mr. O'Cool, how far is it?
With burning and flames.
How far, Mr. O'Cool?
Not far. But you'd be lost forever.
Oh, come now. I'm sure the wee folk won't make off with a harmless fisherman like me.
How do I find this dark Mayo and the Drino?
When through life unblessed we rove, I'll tell you.
The following day, I gave myself an early start and arrived after an hour's walk at the place described by Mr. O'Cool, Dark Mayo and the waters of the Drino. It was a cheerless expanse of ancient rock and wild gorse, shrouded over with lifeless tatters of mist or vapors. I could readily understand the natives' reluctance to set foot on this bleak ground. But the deep flowing waters of the Drino excited me in this barren land, and soon I had my line in the water. Mr. O'Cool was right. The trout were magnificent, and my luck was with me. It was almost noon when something really big struck at my fly. Blast! Missed you. Well, I'll get you yet. Who's there?
Be careful you do not fall off the rock.
I can't see you.
Here I am.
Oh, I see you now. Oh.
What is the matter?
But nothing. It's so lonely here, so desolate. I didn't expect to see anyone, let alone a beautiful young woman.
Oh, no. It is you who's beautiful. I watch you all morning.
You've been here all morning?
By the rocks up there. And I say, oh, what a beautiful man. I wonder what it's like to love him.
Oh? Well, is that so?
I see you lose that fish. You're very funny. The look on your face when you say, blood.
Yes, I enjoy that word. Seems to help me carry the burden of my misfortune.
Blood.
I say, you'll frighten off all the fish. They can hear you, know.
Oh, that is lies. But I tell you, I am magic. All morning I make you catch fish. All the fish, all morning.
Well, it's very interesting. Thank you very much.
Now, again you go fish. And I say, you catch the same one you just lose.
I hope you're right. Well, here goes. Cross your fingers or whatever it is you've been doing. Now, into that pool over there. Perfect. Now we'll see.
Yes, you will catch him very soon.
Working your magic?
Yes, magic.
Good. You know, you worry me.
Why?
Aren't you cold, dressed like that?
I am not cold.
Hardly fitting for the rigors of Dark Mayo.
Don't you like?
Fascinating. Inadequate, but there he is again. Got him.
You see, the magic works.
He's a fighter. I'll have to work closer to him.
Oh, be careful that rock you step on.
Now, boy, I've got you now. I've got you.
He's slipping. The rock. Oh, I help.
I'm all right. I can just...
Ooh. Oh, what is the matter?
Nothing. I'll be all...
Oh, let me help you.
I must have twisted my ankle. I can't put any weight on it.
Here, take my hand.
Oh, you'll get all wet.
No, hold now. So, up, slowly. There now.
Thank you.
Poor, beautiful man. Let me look at your legs. Can't see nothing. It hurts.
Can't put my weight on it.
You come with me to my caravan. I fix you.
Why not back to Ballymoran?
It is too far. My caravan is closer. Come, I'll show you.
The camp of the gypsies lay in a sheltered pocket of ground surrounded by great boulders and the never-ending scrub of Dark Mayo. There was none of the color which I associated with a gypsy camp and the people of Romany. Instead, here were a grim folk, animating a dismal landscape, who fell silent at my approach and who looked at me with suspicion. There was a cook fire burning in the center of the clearing, an old crone stirring a black kettle. The beautiful gypsy girl helped me into her caravan,
A rather disorderly house on wheels. It made me comfortable on a pile of blankets.
Now, I will make you well.
First time I've been in one of these.
It is my home.
It's rather clever at that. Like the tortoise, you carry your house with you.
Yes, like a tortoise. Everything on my back, heavy.
I noticed the others, too. So grim. No smiles.
It is Choron, the head of my tribe.
A hard man?
Hard. Cruel. But he is gone away now to trade horses in the South Country. He will not be back for a long time. Oh, but let us not talk about him. Here, you lie back, and I will fix you.
What is that?
Magic?
Hold on there. The last time you tried your magic, it broke my leg.
Oh, no. My magic only cuts you fish. Anyway, your leg not broken.
Oh, I see.
This is blood of my brother.
Blood of you? In that bag?
Oh, not real blood. Little stone, little glass, and many flowers. I put it on your leg. So, and it will take away the pain. Very magic.
An amulet, eh? Look, don't you think I should get to a doctor? Why did you do that?
You are beautiful. I like to kiss you.
Yes. Does seem to help.
You like to?
I think we should try it again. Just to be sure. What is your name?
Benchillina is her name.
Candanamengro!
Benchillina Petulengro, her name.
Sos te calling a card, Jugal.
The woman who is to marry Choron.
You spy for Choron?
Yes, for Choron.
What the devil is this all about?
He's Vino, the shadow of Choron. He's the coward who whispers the ugly stories to his master.
Now, look here.
Oh, Gorgio, you rest. This is not your fight. You rest. You, Carlo, what are you doing here tonight?
Choron is coming, Benchillina, you know.
I will not be here.
He will find you.
Then I will be dead. I will not marry him.
So, I shall sit here and wait until he comes.
Do your waiting outside, Carlo.
No. Choron says I watch. I watch.
It will be a long watch.
Not long. Choron comes in the morning.
In the morning?
He is coming to take his bride, the beautiful Benchillina.
You lie. He's in the south.
But what will Choron say in the morning when I tell him this beautiful Benchillina was kissed the Gorgio here?
You will not tell Choron anything.
He will cut you in the face in the morning if I tell him it's not so.
You will not tell Choron anything.
Benchillina.
In the morning, Benchillina.
Not anything! Vino? Vino?
Wait. Let me look at him.
What?
Gave him a good one, all right.
Is he dead?
No. No, but what happens now?
We must go. You and me.
Why? Because of this Choron?
If he find us here, he kill you and he kill me. Now is the time to run, to hide. Come.
You are listening to Benchillina and the Fisherman, tonight's presentation of Escape.
In the world of narcotics, a pusher is someone who sells the illegal drugs. Tomorrow evening, CBS Radio's Night Watch police tape record an actual attempt to make a sale, an attempt intercepted by alert night watchers. Every Friday evening, CBS Radio spotlights true, dramatic police proceedings on Night Watch.
And now, Escape and the second act of Benchillina and the Fisherman.
Vino lay unconscious on the floor of the caravan. There was a sickly pallor to his face, and as I looked at his still form, a wild thought came to me. What if he's dead? Not unconscious, but dead. And the name Charon took shape in my mind as something to fear. That maybe the coming morning would bring me to disaster. Suddenly I found myself drawn into the conflict as surely as though it were myself had struck Vino. From now on, I knew my fortunes were with the gypsy Benchillina, and so we fled the gypsy camp. All night, Benchillina drove the horse cart at high speed over the moor, over the endless miles of dark Mayo, until at dawn the road dwindled to little more than a cowpath, and we came to the sea. There was a stone cottage standing alone on a cliff, but something was wrong.
Oh, no, not here, not here.
What's the matter?
I came all the way west, but I take the wrong road. I am lost. Get up!
What are you doing?
I must find the road.
But you're going back.
I must find the road.
It's suicide. We can't go back. Charon is following. Give me the reins.
No.
Give them to me.
No, I
give them. Now be sensible. If we go back one step, we'll walk right into Charon. He can't be far behind. We'll find some other way. We'll go back to that cottage and ask. Yep.
There is a town. Belclue.
Where is Belclue?
It is in a bay by the ocean. If we find Belclue, we are safe.
Who? We like here. Help me down.
Yes. Now, give me your hand. Your foot is better?
Seems to be. Now, let's see if there's anyone about. Hello? Anyone here? Hello? Let's look inside. Deserted. Come,
Don't go in.
Why not?
There is death in the house.
Death? Come now, it's just an ordinary cottage.
Death has been here. Or death is waiting. I know. In my bones, I know.
Yeah. If it will make you feel better, we don't have to go in.
Don't go in.
Then let's look around. Come along. Let's see what we can from the point.
Yes.
There you are. The ocean.
It makes me afraid. The waves, the water. We so high.
You're afraid of many things.
The Romani are afraid of the great oceans.
Good. Maybe that will keep Charon away.
Ah, not Charon. He will follow anywhere we go except... Wait. Look.
What?
Over there. The bay.
Where?
No. Farther along the coast. See? The town.
Oh, yes.
Belclue. I know it is.
The town you were looking for?
Yes. But see, there is no road along the cliffs. No way to reach it from here without going back.
We can't do that. Wait a minute. I have an idea. I'll go down to the water. Maybe there's a boat that belongs to this cottage. If I find one, we can make our way around the point and cross the bay to Belclue. You stay here and keep watch. I'll be right back. By the water's edge, I found what I was looking for. A battered but serviceable dory in a sheltered cove. I was elated, and I hastened back up the path to tell Benchillina the good news. When I reached the top, I called to her. There was no answer. I looked out across the moor, but Benchillina was nowhere in sight. I became alarmed and increased my pace, calling to her again and again. Still, there was no answer. Then, rounding the cottage, I saw something that stopped me dead in my tracks. There in the sun, sitting on the stone wall, swinging his legs back and forth, was a man. A swarthy man with a handsome, pockmarked face. He was whistling a tune. When he saw me, he stopped, smiled.
Sir, good day.
Then he beckoned to me with the gun he held in his right hand.
Please, come here. Oh, I am so sorry. Your leg, yes, they told me you injured it. What a shame.
You must be...
Choron the Kangalan. I believe you have heard of me.
I've heard of you.
Far enough, stop there. Now let me look at you. I know it's right. You are handsome. Quite understandable that Benchillina should be carried away.
Where is Benchillina?
Out there, hiding behind that big rock.
I don't see her.
No, we don't see her. But I know she is there. She saw me coming, ran to hide. Now she's watching to see what I will do.
And what are you going to do?
You will see. Benchillina, listen to me. It is time to go. I will count to 10. If you do not come before I finish, I will shoot your lover.
Shoot? What kind of man are you?
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is insane.
Don't move. 5, 6, 7. 7, Benchillina, think. Your lover. 7, 8. There she is. Good. Very good. Very wise, Benchillina. Hurry now. It's time to go back. Hello, Romani Chief. Hey, you are still beautiful. Too bad you are still beautiful.
Look, I don't know what you're planning to do.
Giorgio, don't say anything. It is all right. I will go back.
Now, lover, we do not need you. Turn around.
What do you do, Choron?
We leave the Barasan here. Around, I say.
Oh, no, Choron, no!
No!
It must have been a savage blow, for I lay unconscious most of the day. When I opened my eyes, the clouds had blanked out the sun, and the sky was threatening. I dragged myself into the cottage. It was empty. In one corner, there was a pile of dried seaweed, and I fell across it. For a long while, I lay unmoving. Then came the wind, then the rain. I managed to find fuel to light a fire in the hearth. At least I would be warm. Night came. It was sometime during the early hours when, looking toward the door, I saw it swing slowly open. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. Framed in the doorway was a man. I looked closely, then I recognized that it was Choron. He was standing in the heavy downpour, his right hand behind his back.
I bring you a bride.
I don't understand you.
I bring back your love.
What have you done with Benchillina?
She is with me. You want to see?
Of course I want to see Benchillina.
All right, then look!
Benchillina, come. Benchillina! It was unbelievable. But only that morning had been a wild and beautiful creature stood before me now. A hag. With incredible brutality. Choron had carved 1,000 deep wrinkles into her face and broken her teeth into ugly snags. Her hair hung lank over her face. Only the eyes showed it was Benchillina. She stared at me. and 1,000 raindrops like 1,000 tears poured down her mutilated face.
You like her? Your bride?
What have you done to Benchillina?
She is yours, parasite.
You foul, insane... What have you done?
Do not come closer.
I'll kill you, you evil coward, you rat.
Giorgio, no. He will shoot you.
I'll kill him.
One more step and I shoot.
No, Joran. No! Stop!
Benchillina. Give me that gun.
What a sound you... Take your hand.
Sharon was dead at my feet. Benchillina's body lay a little to the side, her black hair covering her tortured face. I looked at her for a long while, and I went outside. Dark Mayo was suffering under the heavy rain. I walked down the path to the road, and then down the road.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you transcribed Benchillina and the Fisherman by John Daner, starring Vic Perrin with Paula Winslow. Featured in the cast were Parley Bear, John Daner, and Lawrence Dobkin. Your announcer, Roy Rowan. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are drifting along the muddy reaches of a South American river. Your diving gear in readiness, the air pump going. Yet you know that in the murky depths below you, waiting in the slime there for you, is a mortal enemy from whom there may be no escape.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Anthony Barrett's story, Blood Waters.
CBS Radio brings you the great news reporters of the CBS Radio Newsroom, Edward R. Murrow, Lowell Thomas, Robert Trout, and a long list of familiar names for news. And remember, every weeknight, CBS Radio broadcasts a complete, up-to-the-minute summary of the Army McCarthy hearings. Throughout the hearings, tune in CBS Radio for complete evening coverage of each day's significant events. Listen for Robert Trout reporting on the news on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are drifting along the muddy reaches of a South American river. Your diving gear in readiness, the air pump going. Yet you know that in the murky depths below you, waiting in the slime there for you, is a mortal enemy from whom there may be no escape.
Listen now as Escape brings you Tony Barrett's story, Blood Waters.
take you up slowly. Always slowly. Even in a nothing job like this one. A harbor bottom dive that a beginner would laugh at. I kicked away from the heavy pilings harder than I had to. And I knew I was trying to dull my mind again not to think about it. Trying to sell myself the same old story. That a diver shouldn't care where he works because the job's always the same. There's something down there. They want it. You get it, period. But it didn't work too well. The story was wearing thin.
There you are, senor. You want the suit off, or you want to rest first, huh?
Rest from what? A 50-foot dive? Get me out of the suit.
See.
Perhaps the man knows best, Trent. Murdoch.
A 50-foot dive can be dangerous. But then danger never bothered you, did it?
What are you doing here, Murdoch? What do you want?
Does an old friend have to want something?
I'm not interested in any of your deals.
Really? With this job finished and nothing else in sight?
I'm busy, Murdoch. Beat it.
No curiosity, Trent? Not so much as a... What are you doing in a forsaken hole in Argentina? You never were much at small talk, were you?
Goodbye, Murdoch.
Wait a minute.
Take your hand off me.
Why the rush? Where are you going?
You know it all. You tell me.
All right. I will. What you do between now and tonight does not matter. But at 9 o'clock, I shall expect you at the Café del Rondo, promptly.
And if I don't come?
Can you afford not to come, Trent? It still takes money to live, even down here. I will see you at 9 o'clock.
You've been talking for an hour now, Murdoch, and you haven't said anything. Get to it.
You have no social graces. Pity. Trent, how would you like never to have to get into diving gear again? To be rich, really rich. To have everything you ever wanted.
I had everything I wanted once. You remember that, don't you, Murdoch?
How long have you been away from the States, Trent?
What's that got to do with it?
How long?
3 years. 3 stinking years.
And don't you want to go back?
No, I like working jungle holes like this. I like 50-foot dockside dives with native boys that fall asleep on the pumps while you're down there. What are you building?
Fortune for both of us.
What do you want this time? My right eye?
Can't you forget what happened?
Can you?
You're being stupid.
You're out of your territory down here, Murdoch, so talk nice to me.
Look, Trent, in 2 months, we can both walk out of here with more money than you ever dreamed of.
I don't dream anymore.
Gold, Trent. If I told you how much, you would think me mad.
And you want to give me half?
You will earn it.
By diving?
Yes. Did I say something humorous?
So you fell for the national industry. Don't you know there's a peddler on every corner down here selling maps of sunken treasure? I love that. The smooth Vincent Murdoch is a tourist.
And now, do you want to hear what I have to say?
Say your piece.
Did you ever hear of the Gran Chacos Rebellion?
Sorry, I'm late, senor.
Ah, Maria, my dear. May I present Senor Trent Paul? This is Maria Sandoval.
Senorita?
Senor?
Sit down, Maria. Something to drink?
No, gracias.
You said something about a rebellion.
40 years ago, to be exact. Bolivia and Paraguay were at each other's throats. It's in the history books.
I didn't know you were a reader, Murdoch.
The Paraguayans were getting the worst of it. So they loaded a small boat, the Santa Rosa, with millions in gold for shipping up the Paraguay River. It was to go to Brazil for safekeeping.
Well?
After the boat left Puerto Pinasco, it was never seen again. Nor was the gold.
It's true, Senor.
Storm? They never even found survivors. Besides, where would they look? Have you any idea of the length of the Paraguay River?
2 governments can't find the gold, but you can.
That is correct. I can.
What do you got?
Charts? Better than that.
What then?
I said before that they never found survivors. I did. The only one. Interested, Trent?
I don't want any part of you, Murdoch. Now or any time, so get off my back.
Don't you realize what I'm offering you?
I understand this. It's over. I'm through with you and your schemes, and I'm not running anymore. Get that through your head, you fat slut.
You listen to me.
3 years ago, I listened to you. 3 years down in this sinkhole is what I got for it. 3 years, you foul, filthy pig.
I'm going to cut you a new throat.
I don't know how long it lasted. How many times I hit him trying to pay him back for the lonely years. But finally it was over. Finished. And I was back at the waterfront again, tasting the soft breeze coming in from the sea.
Senor? Senor Trent.
What do you want? Oh, Maria, isn't it?
Si, Maria.
I'm sorry if I messed up your friend Murdoch.
He's all right now. Besides, I have seen men fight before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. You always follow the winner?
Anger forces words the tongue does not want to say.
My name is Trent, not Murdoch. Plain enough.
I know your name, Senor. Oh, there is a scratch on your cheek, Senor. A little blood. Let me... A woman knows how. Senor. Senor.
Is that the way you kiss Murdoch?
Your eyes, Paulito. The anger is still there.
And it shouldn't be, not after that, huh?
Paulito.
Who are you really kissing, Maria, me or him? What do you want, the gold, Murdoch? Everybody wants something. What's yours?
I want you to come with me, Senor.
No more Paulito, huh?
Please, come with me, please. I'll show you what I want.
She turned and moved away without ever once looking back, as though she was sure I'd follow her. And she was right. The shack she led me to was less than a half-mile away, no different than any of the others around it. She turned to look at me once as she opened the door, and her eyes were 1,000 years old. She lit a lamp, and I looked where she was pointing. He lay on a bed in the corner, a little Portuguese, maybe 50, cackling softly to himself as though he knew a joke that nobody else would ever know. His hair was pure white, the kind that comes from too much terror, too much shock. And then I saw his hands. From fingertips to elbows, they were a mass of little scars, ugly, needle-like scars that spoke of some past moment of horror. We moved closer, but he never looked up. Just sat crooning softly to a bottle of whiskey cradled in his arm. Maria? Who is he?
Have you never seen a man who has lost his mind to feel? Look well, for he is such a one. Pobrecito. Estoy aquí, todo es bueno. Estoy aquí, pobrecito. Have you seen enough, Senor?
Is he
My father. What is left of him?
How did it happen, Maria?
You have already been told.
What?
Mandrake spoke truth tonight when he told of his survivor from the Santa Rosa. There he is.
staring out at the water, she told me all of it. And it wasn't hard to follow. An old man, driven insane by terror, who clung to Murdoch because Murdoch kept him in whiskey, the one thing that pushed the terror away for a while. Very neat and tidy, the Murdoch touch.
You understand now, Paulito?
Yeah. What do you want me to do, Maria? Make the trip with Murdoch as his diver? Is that what you want?
My father is a child now. Murdoch will lose him and then... Oh.
That's all you wanted from the beginning, isn't it? For me to be a watchdog.
He is my father, Paulito.
Yeah. I never asked. You going along?
Si, I go.
All right, Maria. I'll dive for Murdoch.
Oh, gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
It's all right.
Paulito, kiss me, please.
Gratitude for your father?
No, not this time, querido. This time, for me.
Murdoch was all sweetness and light next morning when I told him he had a diver. You'd have sworn we were old buddies. He balked at only one thing, my wanting to take along Jose, the kid who'd handled pumps for me on the harbor job. But I wasn't about to do any diving without somebody I trusted handling lines. Murdoch didn't like it, but he couldn't afford to argue. Jose turned out to be a real good investment before we ever got started. That night, as a matter of fact.
Anyone?
Oh, you finish up, Jose?
Si. All finished, Senor.
You watch him crate the gear?
I did it myself.
I should have known. Thanks.
Senor, how well you know this Senor Murdoch?
Too well. Why? Well, come on, Jose. What is it?
While I was taking care of the gear, he was getting the permisos. How you say?
The permits? Government permits for the interior?
Si. You supposed to name all the people that go.
I know that. What about it?
I saw the papers, Senor.
Well?
It's every name there except yours.
I see.
But why? Why does he do a thing like that, Senor? What reason?
To save explaining later.
Okay.
Murdoch's got it all figured out, Jose.
I still do not understand. Why are you not on that list?
It's real simple. A man who doesn't make a trip can't be expected to come back from it.
You are listening to Bloodwaters, tonight's presentation of Escape. Millions in Asia living on inadequate diets and additional millions in free Europe fighting for post-war recovery are the beneficiaries when you give to CARE, C-A-R-E. Send a $10 CARE package or the $6.95 budget package. For further details, write CARE, New York. That's CARE, New York. And now, Escape, and the second act of Bloodwaters.
It's a thing you gotta see to believe. A thing that exists every foot of the length of Argentina. Get a couple of hours inland from the coast, and you've gone back 1,000 years. Nothing but jungle. Jungle so thick and green, you can travel a full day without ever once getting a glimpse of sunlight. It's bad enough any way you try it, but doing it Murdoch's way was the worst. Murdoch, a gold-hungry, penny-pinching man who hadn't hired enough bearers, who skimped on food, and who hated every minute wasted on rest. Maria took it well, quiet for the most part, her eyes never far from Sandoval. The old man was pathetic, shambling along, falling often, uncaring and never hearing. There was only one sound that mattered in his world, the cork coming out of the bottle. And Murdoch was master of the bottle. 4 days of it, 4 stinking, crawling days. And on the morning of the 5th, we came out of it. Stood there, looking out at the Paraguay River. The gold was showing in Murdoch's eyes again.
Look at it, Trent. Beautiful, isn't it?
It's a river. That's all it is. It's been a long walk. Where to now?
3 days upriver. Do you have any objections?
You're footing the bill.
And you should remember that. You check our supplies while I make arrangements for the boat.
Don't you want me to take a look at the boat before you make a deal? Make sure you get a good winch?
You have a short memory, Trent. I'd say I'm fairly capable of making deals, wouldn't you? You just make sure the bearers don't steal anything when they leave.
I take care of that for you, Senor. Thanks, Jose. Oh, and keep an eye on the old man, eh?
Sí, Senor. Sí.
Ole, hombre. Ven aquí.
Paulito.
Maria, you all right?
Sí. Oh, I'm so grateful to you, querido.
For what?
For everything. Everything. Paulito, you take care with Murdoch. He's a dangerous man.
Yeah. Now listen to me. From here on, it's going to be different.
Different?
We'll all be on a small boat for days, maybe weeks. I won't always be around because of the diving. Here, take the gun. Just take it. And hope you don't have to use it. A couple of hours later, Murdoch came back and waved us down to the river. Instead of being alone, now he had a native with him. A big man he called Batu. A lot of man. Even through the paint on his face, you could see the combination of Mayan and Inca. The 1,000-year-old dignity as he stood looking at us.
Trent, this is Batu. I've just arranged for the boat and he's going upriver with us. Go help with the loading, Batu.
Batu, help.
What are we taking him for, Murdoch?
He wants to go upriver to his people and he will work for his passage. We can use him.
You keep adding people, somebody's going to have to swim alongside. That ain't much of a boat.
Now, Trent, this is no time to be at each other's throats. I know we are on the right track. Sandoval started getting excited the moment he saw this part of the river.
For a guy in his condition, you're doing a lot of depending on him.
You let me worry about that. All you have to do is handle your end of things, and that won't begin until we start diving.
You're wrong, Murdoch. I started worrying 3 years ago, remember? Two days on the river. 2 long days with Murdoch never once taking his eyes off Sandoval. Watching each slightest reaction. The bottle always ready. And the old man needed that bottle now. His terror growing by the minute. And Murdoch loving it because it told him we were getting closer. That night, I was laying out my gear back in the stern when Batu, the big native, came toward me. He wasn't the calm giant anymore, just a man, a terrified man with words tumbling out of his mouth.
You tell Batu. You tell.
Tell you what?
About crazy man.
Crazy? Sandoval? Well, what about him?
Hands.
The scars? You mean how did he get them?
Yes.
I don't know what happened to his hands, but what about him?
Why you come here?
To dive. To bring something up from the water. Why?
No. Not go in water. No.
Why not? What's wrong?
Not go. Devil water. Devil water. You not go in devil water.
And that's all I could get out of him. Just that. It was a long time before I got to sleep that night. Late on the 3rd day, we dropped anchor just outside a small cove. Murdoch was out of his mind with excitement. But it was too dark for diving. We'd start in the morning. Batu wanted to go ashore to see his people. Swore he'd be back before sunup. Murdoch didn't like it, but he had no choice. We needed the big man on pumps. In the morning, we were up at dawn, and Batu was back aboard. He didn't say much. But he was never more than a couple of feet away from me, and his eyes never left me. But I didn't have time to think about it. I had my own troubles.
What's taking you so long, Fred?
Oh, you and your penny pinching. You've been had, Murdoch.
Well, what's wrong?
Well, not a thing, except this winch is on its last leg.
Well, let's not argue. Repair it the best you can.
Talk cheap, but I'm the guy who goes down there.
Listen to me, Trent. We're close, really close. Sandoval swears it's right beneath us. He has to be right. He's pointed out landmarks all the way.
Wait a minute. What's that?
It's native drums,
Probably a welcome. Get that chute closed, Trent. We're losing time.
You remember what I say about clear lines down there, Senor? Huh?
I'll remember.
And don't you forget. Look, Senor. Look on the shore.
Natives, 6 or 7 of them.
It's part of Batu's tribe.
What's that they're carrying?
It looks like a pig or a goat.
And their throat is cut.
What is it, Batu? What are they doing?
Make sacrifice to river god.
But why now?
Save you.
From what? What's down there?
A native superstition, Trent. Where's your intelligence? Are you ready?
Batu.
You not stay in water long.
On the beach, they heard his command, and the pig was thrown into the river. A moment later, Jose had bolted my helmet in place, and I was being lowered over the side of the boat. Everything was forgotten now, but the work is staying alive. That's how it is with diving. You can do it 1,000 times, but it's always new. Jose knew it. Through the phone, I could hear him worrying with me.
You all right, Senor?
Yeah. Read me.
See? 11 fathoms.
Stay with me. I'm going to have a look around. I checked my lines and started toward a large mass of shadow. Distances underwater fool you. I was on it almost before I started. It was a ship, or what was left of one. Her back had been broken in two, and her stern was right in front of me. I read it aloud. Santa Rosa.
What's that, Senor?
I found it. Start a line down.
He's found it. You hear? He's found it.
I went in carefully, slowly, making sure of my lines. It didn't take me 20 minutes to find it. A tremendous iron-bound chest. I scratched the slime off with my knife, and there it was. The official seal of Paraguay. There wasn't any doubt now what was inside. I got a line around it, told them which way to swing the winch, and managed to get it out in the clear for the trip up. I just about finished when I felt a signal on my line. What is it?
Batu says to get up here quick. You've been down too long.
Why?
Friend, this is Murdoch. Let's get the gold up first. Another moment won't hurt you. Let's not take chances on a foul line.
Let's not take chances on me. Tell Jose to take me up.
If he tries it, I shall shoot him. The gold comes up first. Stand clear, French.
Murdoch, listen. My knife is across the line. You turn that winch and I'll cut the line. You hear me?
You're insane. I could cut your air holes.
Go on, cut it. I'm tired of living with you on my back anyway.
Oh, all right, Trent, all right. Now, don't get excited. We're taking you up.
Slowly, they began taking me up. And then I realized why. Murdoch knew once I started up, I couldn't possibly cut the line that held the chest. He took me up just far enough to get my hands on the bottom rung of the Jacob's ladder and hang there helplessly. Then, through the phones, I could hear the creak of the winch as he started hauling up the chest. Looking up through the water, I could see Murdoch leaning over the rail as he waited for the chest to break water. And then it happened. A sudden sharp sting on my hand. And when I looked, I saw blood. Blood and a 6-inch fish racing in for another bite. In a second, there were more of them. Little needle-toothed devils plunging at the canvas suit, even trying to bite through the steel of the helmet to get at the flesh inside. And at last I understood everything. Why Batu called it devil water. Why Sandoval had gone insane. And what happened to the crew of the Santa Rosa. That 6-inch fish was the South American piranha, a cannibal so deadly it strips a man to the bone in 30 seconds. Then I heard something else. The winch. Murdoch had been driving it too fast, even for a good winch. It started to crumple just as the chest broke water. Murdoch saw the chest inches from his hand start slipping back. And the thought of losing the gold drove him crazy. He grabbed for it. Even as the chest pulled him down past me, he was still holding on to it. Even as the piranha left me to strip easier pickings than steel and canvas, he held on to it, and I knew he'd never let go. How could he? Hadn't the gold pulled him halfway around the world, and then climbed out of the water to get him?
Under the direction of Norman Macdonnell, Escape has brought you Bloodwaters by Tony Barrett, starring Vic Perrin. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Lillian Bayef, Tony Barrett, and Barney Phillips. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are one of 4 people trapped in an isolated trading post somewhere in the Yukon Territory. The blizzard outside making escape impossible. And you know that before the spring thaws release you, before you can leave this cabin behind you, one of your companions, by consent of the others, will be killed.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Judgment Day at Crippled Deer. Every weekday for 90 solid minutes, Arthur Godfrey Time presents that redhead himself, coming up with one surprise after another. And every Friday night on most of these same CBS radio stations, we take the top surprises, the best songs, the biggest laughs out of the daytime shows, and group them together into a big once-a-week treat. Tomorrow night, don't miss the Arthur Godfrey Digest at the Star's address. Daytime is a gay time with Arthur Godfrey Time on the CBS Radio Network.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the 4 walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are one of 4 people trapped in an isolated trading post somewhere in the Yukon Territory. The blizzard outside making escape impossible. And you know that before the spring thaws release you, before you can leave this cabin behind you, one of your companions, by consent of the others, will be killed.
Listen now as Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Judgment Day at Crippled Deer.
I think it most unlikely that you ever heard of Crippled Deer Crossing, and you would have great difficulty locating it on a map, even though the Yukon, for the most part, is vast and empty. Crippled Deer is a trading post, one sprawling pine log building, nothing more. But it's been my home and my business for 20 years now, and in the course of time I have grown fond of it, even grown fond of the bitter cruelty of the Great North. Yes, fond, too, of the long winters, snowbound, dark, when the trappers and miners have all gone outside, and we wait alone for the coming of spring. But of one such winter I am not fond. I still wake at times from dreaming of it, lie shuddering and fearful in the darkness. That was the winter of the black snow, when the horror came moaning on the wind and no man could look in another's eyes without shame and loathing and hate.
Listen, LeClaire. Listen to it. I know that sound and the gray skies and the black in the west. It's going to hit us before tomorrow morning.
Oh, it's close, all right. What do you think, Joe?
Many wolf track in snow last night. Much hunting. They're now asleep. I think maybe one day, maybe two, then big blizzard come.
All right, 2 days then. That's still cutting it too close. You ought to be here by now.
Real anxious, ain't you, Bella? Just can't wait. Honey, what's Marco got that we ain't got?
You wouldn't know, Higgins.
You would, though, wouldn't you, sweetheart?
At least he's got a civil tongue in his head. And he's also got a lot of things you'd give your right arm for, Higgins. He knows how to laugh and live and how to make other people laugh and live.
I'll bet he does.
And he knows how to treat a woman.
Yeah, any woman the way I hear it.
You shut that mouth of yours right now, or I'll make you wish you had.
You will.
Higgins, in a day or two now, the blizzard comes. Close the trails. And we here, then all of us together the rest of the winter. Here, this one building, no way to get out. I tell you once and for all, I will not have this kind of feeling.
Then let him shut up.
Can't take a joke.
That's enough, Higgins. You've got a right to be worried. I'm worried myself. Marco and Blakey don't have enough grub up there. If they get snowed into that mine, they can't possibly last out the winter. And that blizzard is close. Should have come down by now.
I was just funning her, LeClaire. Sorry, Belle.
Then watch what you're saying.
Don't worry. They'll make it all right. Why, Marco Moore knows more about this country and the weather than most people.
No talk. You sound.
Well, what is it, Joe?
Dog team. Sled coming.
Marco. Must be Marco and Blake.
Where's those binoculars? Maybe we can see them when they come through the gap, huh?
Higgins, help me open the window.
Might not be them, Belle. Could be Robertson.
Not him. He's too smart a Monty to get snowed in this far from Dawson. Come on, push.
All right, here. Let me see now. It's nearly too dark to... Hey, there's a sled, all right, coming out of the gap.
It's them. It is them, isn't it?
I can't quite make... No, it's only one man.
A Monty.
No, not Robertson. It's Blakey. But Marco's not with him.
What?
Blakey coming in alone.
Alone?
Two partner go. One come back very bad.
No, shut up, Joe. Don't pay any attention to him, Belle. Marco is all right.
He better be. For Blakey's sake, he better be.
They've been partners 3 seasons now, Belle. There's no reason to think anything is wrong.
You look dog team, lead dog. Marco's dog.
Pop.
He's right. He's that big husky with the white star. Marco got him 2 years ago.
Hold up the man, Jim. Bring out the girl. Blakey's back.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Prodigal son, gents. Starved for a fatted calf and maybe a glass or 2 of rye whiskey.
Blakey.
Well, LeClaire, uglier than ever. Indian Joe, what do you have in the tribe, huh? Oh, Higgins, look at that paunch.
And Belle. Oh, sweetheart, you make up for all of them. Gorgeous.
Blakey, where's Marco?
Marco? Well, ain't he here yet?
Should he be?
Well, he pulled out a few days before I did. I stayed on till yesterday working the claim. Of course, he might have stopped off someplace.
Where? Stopped off where?
Well, maybe at Jackson River. The factory at the post there's got a pair of mighty pretty daughters, Belle.
You better get your dogs out of harness, Blake, and get your stuff inside. It may start snowing.
Yeah, looks like it's building up a good one.
Say, Blakey, that lead dog there, he's new, ain't he?
Why, I guess you could call it that. That's Marco's dog. Marco traded with me. He figured I'd be running closer to the storm, so I'd need a better lead dog than he would, so he traded with me.
I see.
You see what? What's this all about? You act like it's a matter of life and death.
of us talked it over while Blakey was unpacking his sled. It didn't add up. We agreed on that. At least it didn't add up the way Blakey was claiming. He was a born liar, we knew that, and Marco should have been at the trading post by now even if he had stopped off at Jackson River. Now, when Blakey came in, we ate, and then we waited some more. Still no sound of another dog sled or Marco.
Wind seems to be slacking off some. Blizzard ain't far off. Wind always slacks off first. Who's for game of pinochle? What's the matter with all of you? You ain't spoke one decent word to me since I got here. Anybody think I was a wolf that sneaked in out of the woods or something? Well, why don't somebody say something?
How'd you get that bruise under your eye, Blakey?
How'd you get that bruise? You sit around and stare at me for a couple of hours, and then the only thing you can think of to say is, how'd you get that bruise?
What happened? Did you get in a fight with somebody?
I got the bruise from a rock.
But how?
I was working in the tunnel. We drove. Some rock fell out of the roof, and a piece of it hit me. That's how I got it.
You're lying.
What's the matter with you, Belle?
You're lying, I said. You fought with Marco. That's how you got it.
I ain't fought with nobody. Why would I fight with him? We was partners.
Was, Blakey?
I mean, we still are.
What did you fight about, Blakey?
Nothing. We didn't fight about nothing.
You gotta have some reason, Blakey. Partners don't start fighting over nothing.
I mean, we wasn't fighting. Look, I don't know why Marco isn't here. I ain't his mother. Maybe he changed his mind. He said he was going to be here. That's all I know about it.
Then why isn't he? He left before you did. You said so yourself. Where is he, Blakey?
I don't know. What's the matter with all of you? You think I killed him or something?
Yeah.
What?
That's right, Blakey. We think maybe you killed him.
Oh, come off of it. You're out of your mind. You're kidding. That's what it is, a joke, huh? Me killing old Marco. That's a laugh for you.
You're going to tell us about it, huh?
About what? There ain't nothing to tell. Now, look, if I had done something, why would I come straight here where you're all friends of his, where you're expecting him?
Where else would you go?
Well, to Jackson River.
They don't have room to put a man up.
All right, I could head for Dawson or south to Whitehorse.
Storm too close, no time. Here only place.
All right, answer me one thing. Why? Why do you think I'd kill him?
Show him, Leclerc.
Yeah. This might be the reason, Blakey.
You've been going through my stuff. You got no right.
We did it anyway. Now, what about this?
I was going to tell you about that. I figured I'd wait and make it a kind of surprise.
Surprise?
It's rich quartz, Blakey. Must have opened up quite a pocket.
It's the richest lode between here and Mackenzie Bay.
Not rich enough for two?
Marco didn't even know about it. I stumbled onto it after he'd already left. That's why I was keeping it for a surprise.
These two, Blakey? Were you keeping these for a surprise? I gave him those gloves and that writing tablet. And I knitted that pair of socks last winter.
Well, he told me to pack up anything he'd missed, bring it along. That proves he was figuring to come here.
Why?
Well, look, I know you're worried about Marco and all.
Do you?
But you're thinking the wrong way, all of you. You're all wrong. You're mixed up.
You're saying you didn't kill Marco. But you ain't saying it very good.
Joe, show him what you found in the sled.
You've got no right to bother my things.
This. That's your knife, Blakey?
It was a fox. I shot it on the trail. Skinned it for the dogs. That's how the blood got on it.
You skinned fox. What you do with skin?
I left it. I'm a miner, not a trapper. I don't know anything about skins. Now look, the whole bunch of you. I'm getting fed up with this. Questions, accusing me. What do you think you are, a court of some kind? I don't have to answer anything. I ain't on trial. I'm going to turn in.
Next morning, the barometer dropped again, and we knew that blizzard would hit any minute. All that day, we sat huddled around that wood stove, not talking, just thinking about Marco and Blakey. And just after dark, Blakey went outside to settle his dog team. By the time he came back in, we decided.
What are you all staring at?
Blakey, we're going to give you a trial.
A trial for what?
Jury of your peers. That's the only law we got. That's all we're likely to have till spring. Robertson bypassed us. He got on through to Dawson to beat the blizzard. It's just you and us, Blakey.
You're crazy. You ain't the law.
If you got anything to say in your own defense, any explanation...
I ain't doing no more talking. You can't do nothing to me.
Whatever you say, Blakey.
Let's vote. Get it over with.
If he won't talk, there ain't no use asking him anything else. I say he killed Marco.
1 vote guilty.
2. Of course he did it.
Joe?
He killed.
That's 3 guilty, and mine makes 4. That's unanimous, Blakey.
And just what do you aim to do about it?
Well, we got to decide.
Well, I'll decide for you. You ain't going to do nothing. And you know why? Because of this.
Grab him, Joe.
Hold it. But don't none of you move. Looks a little different now, doesn't it?
Put it down, Blakey. That rifle won't get you out of this.
It won't, huh? Well, I'd say it's made some changes already. 4-1. You felt mighty big, didn't you? Well, how do you feel now? Things is kind of even up a little, ain't they?
You can't hold us at gunpoint all winter.
I ain't figuring to. I'm getting out of here. And none of you better try to stop me.
Where are you planning to go?
That's my business. But I sure ain't going to stay around here no longer. Now, all of you, stay right where you are.
He's crazy. Where could he get to?
Nowhere's maybe, but he ain't thought that far. All he knows right now is he's going to get away.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Get your rifles. We go after him.
You are listening to Judgment Day at Crippled Deer, tonight's presentation of Escape. Saturday night on CBS Radio's thrilling Western series called Gunsmoke, meet United States Marshal Matt Dillon. Marshal Dillon faces another problem this Saturday, a problem as real and vital as the Old West itself, and just as full of action as well. Don't miss the exciting, unusual drama on CBS Radio's Gunsmoke, Saturday night on most of these stations. And now Escape and the second act of Judgment Day at Crippled Deer.
Tracking down a fellow man is not a pleasant thing, even though he's crazed with fear. But there was no choice. The 4 of us stood a moment longer looking at the door that had slammed shut behind Blakey, and then...
Ready?
Yeah, let's get it over with. Come on.
Don't let him get away.
Joe, you see, can you pick up his trail?
He couldn't have got far. He ain't had enough time.
Here. What? Track start here. Come.
It's pitch dark to me. How can you see any tracks?
Me see. Come. He seems to be heading back on the trail.
On foot, without even snowshoes. He's out of his mind.
Guilt and fear, they do funny things to a man.
Leave trail now. Turn this way. Into the woods.
Come. Run. Get away from them. That's all he could think about there in the cabin.
Crazy. Clean out of his senses.
Go on back. Stay away from me.
He's hauled up in that storage shed up on the creek bank. I saw the flash.
Why don't we leave him there? Let him get snowed in. Let him start.
No. When a man begins to start, it gets dangerous. He has that rifle, and there's a whole case ammunition in that shed. He could hang around the cabin and pick us off one at a time.
Me go. Me bring him.
You think you can slip up on him, Joe?
You talk. Shoot guns. Make noise. I go.
Blakey!
Get out of here. Haul it back to the post.
Maybe this'll shake him up a little.
You're wasting your time. I got cover and you ain't.
A dirty murderer. I'll blast him out of there.
No,
the last thing I
hold it. You might hit the Indians. Why don't you tell us about it, Blakey? About Marco. Get it off your chest. Where did you bury him?
I didn't bury nobody.
You mean you left him for the wolves?
You don't stop saying that, I'll get every last one of you before.
Hey, Joe must have got inside.
You come now. Everything all right. No trouble. You come.
All right. Let's go get him. We dragged him back to the post. We tied his hands together behind his back and locked him in one of the bunk rooms. Then we sat, the four of us. We didn't say much. Not looking at one another, knowing what we had to decide, putting it off as long as we could. And then it was Belle, who had been in love with Marco and was ready not to go to pieces any minute, finally brought it out in the open.
We can't sit here and put it off all winter. We got to decide what we're going to do. Get it over with.
I suppose you're right.
You know I'm right. What's the matter with all of you? What are you afraid of?
It's a big responsibility, Belle.
Not for me. Maybe you can feel sympathy for him, but I don't. He don't even count. 100 of him would make up for Marco.
Perhaps you're right, Belle, but what I was thinking, storm ain't hit yet, and as long as there's a chance Robertson will still come, well, maybe we ought to wait and leave it to him. After all, he's a law. It's his job.
Redcoat no come now. Blizzard too close. You go very fast to Dawson. No one spend winter here.
Joe is right. We can't figure on turning Blakey over to the police. Robertson's already probably in Dawson. And we can't try to keep him prisoner clear through the winter. I guess we all agree on that.
You know what I agree on.
So I guess we better make up our minds, huh?
Mine's made up now. You know that.
Yes, I know that, Belle.
Love, my people say, man who kill friend must die always.
I don't know, LeClaire. Killing a man in a fight or a battle when you're crazy mad, that's one thing. But doing it in cold blood like this, well, it ain't easy to face it. It ain't the same.
I guess we all feel that way about it. None of us want to do it. It looks to me like we don't have much choice.
We don't, and the sooner the better.
I don't know. Mountie might still come.
Make up your mind, Higgins. If you're afraid, say so.
Well, it ain't that.
You agree with the rest of us then, or don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's settled then. Well, we might as well get it over with, huh?
How are you thinking to do it, LeClaire?
Well, hanging, that's the usual way, I guess. That roof pole outside the front of the cabin, we could take him up on the roof and tie the other end of the rope to that pole. And then make him step off.
How much of a fall does it take?
I only seen it done once down in the States.
Wouldn't do to have it go wrong. No call for him to suffer any more than this.
No, we do careful. We plan it all out.
Stop talking about it and do it. Do it and get it over with.
We're going to, Belle.
Well, get on with it.
Oh, Joe, get a ladder up against the eaves out there, huh? Higgins and me, we cut a piece of rope.
Good.
Now, I guess we better tell him.
Hang me? You've decided to hang me?
Blake,
you don't even know what you're saying. People don't sit down and decide they're going to hang somebody and expect to get away with it. You can't take the law into your own hands.
You're just making it harder for us, Blakely.
Harder for you? I'll make it harder for you when Robertson shows up.
Robertson ain't going to show up.
You're out of your minds.
We're going to have to drag you, Blakey.
You'll drag nobody. I'll walk. Let's see just how far you're planning to go with this.
All right, we go out through the main room.
Belle, you know what they're figuring to do?
Yeah.
Well, do something. Stop them. You're a woman, Belle. You're different.
I wish there were 10 of you, Blakey, so they could hang you 10 times instead of once.
Belle.
Get him out of here. Take him out and get it over with.
Yeah, come on.
She's crazier than the rest of you. It's all crazy. It's like a nightmare.
Watch your step, Leclerc. That crust is freezing. It's slick.
Yeah.
Like it ain't real. It really happened. Not to me, anyway.
You know, that wind has died down some.
Always does just before the blizzard hits.
All right, Blakey. Climb up on the roof.
Roof?
Yeah. And you climb the ladder, you want us to help you.
I can climb.
You go up there by the ridgepole, Blakey, up there where Joe is standing.
Yeah, better let me help you. A lot of snow on the roof. Ain't easy with your hands tied that way.
All ready, rope tied. Everything ready.
Oh. Well, might as well we get on with it, huh?
Maybe you better tie it around his neck, Leclerc.
Huh?
Now, you've seen it done once.
If I can remember. Hey, Blakey, come stand closer to the edge here, huh?
Careful, Leclerc. It's dark. Don't slip.
Yeah, that's fine. Right there now.
What? It's a joke, huh? That's what. You gents are just trying to scare me so we can laugh about it afterwards.
Hold still, Blakey.
A joke.
Hold still.
A real good joke.
All right, that's fine.
That's very funny.
Looks like we're ready.
Yeah. Oh, you got any last words, Blakey? I guess you better say them now.
You jump now.
Joe.
You jump.
Stop pushing.
You jump now.
We went inside. We left him swinging there, figured to take him down in daylight and bury him. I opened a bottle of brandy and we drank some fast in gulps. We needed it because it wasn't easy to do it. Not in cold blood that way. It didn't change much either when we stopped to think about it. It didn't bring Marco back to life, killing Blakey. Even Belle, who was crazy for revenge, was feeling sick. Then we got to thinking about Robertson, too, how he never missed stopping by before on his last trip out to Dawson. And then Joe heard it.
Dogs! Here, dogs! Sled come!
Robertson!
I told you we ought to wait. Now we're in for
We
it.
gotta do something. We gotta think of something to tell him. Make up a story.
What, with Blakey still hanging out there? What story?
Well, we gotta do something.
All we can do is tell him the truth and hope he sees it the way we did. He's an old-timer in the North. He'll understand.
We'll make him understand. He'll be snowed in with us here. All us together for the rest of the winter. We'll make him understand.
We did right. At least we know it. I think he will.
Got a steak and a drink for a hungry man? Well?
Marco!
Why all the surprise? I promised you I'd be here, didn't I, Bill? Stopped over a couple of days in Jackson River. Dang, you got snowed in. Said did Blakey make it all right? He was going to leave the mine a couple of days after I did.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Judgment Day at Crippled Deer by Les Crutchfield, starring Lawrence Dobkin with Harry Bartell. Featured in the cast were Lou Krugman, Georgia Ellis, James Nusser, and Clayton Post. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are standing alone in a mountain village somewhere in the puppet country of Andorra, the high crags of the Pyrenees trapping the last of the daylight. And you know that in one of the stone houses facing you, behind one of the doors that is closed against you, is a beautiful woman whom you must find before she meets her death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Kathleen Height's story, The Wall. Saturday night on CBS Radio, Gangbusters revealed the true facts behind a fantastic hotel holdup in which three comical bad guys with a wicked sense of humor terrorize Manhattan hotel guests, rob them, and vanish into the night after commandeering the hotel for their own high profit without interference. Hear Gangbusters' true crime case history Saturday night on most of these stations. Listen while you work. Enjoy Young Dr. Malone every Monday through Friday in the daytime on the CBS Radio Network.